find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. You can shed that fat and be slimmer for the summer. No more wearing cover-ups or t-shirts in the pool. NJ Diet will help you the natural way. There are no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you're burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number, locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, Princeton, and Newark, Delaware, or from home with live online video consultations. 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com, njdiet.com.
At Agora Cyber Charter School, all students can thrive in the classroom. Agora staff rallies around each student, giving them a sense of belonging through their own unique experience from the safety and comfort of their home. Live instruction is taught in real time by PA-certified teachers. Students have no barriers to reaching their highest potential, to being challenged, to being curious, to being connected. Agora serves Pennsylvania students grades K through 12. Enroll today for the 2023 to 2024 school year. Learn more and attend a live virtual open house at agora.org.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Tuesday, May 30th. It is indeed Kayal Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210. That is the phone number. Twitter and Instagram. The radio station at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Dawn Stensland with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. Hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. 3, 4, 5 days off in a row. Time to get back to work, you lazy bums. Dawn Stensland, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
How was the weekend?
We went down the shore. We were in Ocean City, New Jersey, which we love. Love it.
I saw a picture or two you posted of the shoreline.
Get up at the sunrise, and obviously
yeah,
commemorating Memorial Day yesterday with family and friends and thinking about those we've lost. And
any dolphins or whales wash ashore?
Oh, Saturday? No, thank God.
Okay, just checking. Got to put that dolphin whale tracker up on television like CNN used to do with COVID. Gregory Stocker, how are you?
We're doing this again, are we?
What else you want to do at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, I guess Sleep? You're right. I guess you're right.
Pretty much all we can do. Either do a show.
Hamsters getting back on the wheel.
Or stay in bed.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of good stuff to get to this morning. Kevin McCarthy's banging his chest. I'm not sure why. That'll be the big take coming up in just a few minutes.
By the way, you picked Nick Nurse to be the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, and it came true.
Kind of called it.
You did.
That's what I do
very
here,
good.
folks. That's what we do.
You very good.
Everybody kind of called it.
Wow, Dawn.
That's a fair point. He was, I think, basically the odds-on favorite.
Dawn,
so I didn't go out on a limb.
Yeah.
I didn't pick some guy coaching a CYO team downtown. I did pick a guy that's got a championship.
That's not right. Trying to give props to our boy, and he
I'm sorry.
throttled it.
When he fails and Embiid fails, I had nothing to do with this. And I do not own this Nick. That's one Nick I will not take credit for.
All right.
Oh, God, we got some good stuff to get to today. Also, a couple of local stories here in Philadelphia. We've got Target fallout and backlash that continues. A big win for Fox after the debacle that was Twitter Spaces, and all sorts of good stuff along the way. But before we get to all of that, let's get to the news. Dawn Stenzel, 6:05 here on a Tuesday morning.
And good morning. Yes, a short work week for those of us coming into work this Tuesday morning, although slow traffic, so maybe people even taking the week will have the full forecast, if that's you. We have confirmation from officials that one teenager is still in critical condition after 8 teens were injured. This after a shooting in Chester, right outside Subaru Park. So 8 people, all teenagers, according to police, reportedly injured after that shooting. It happened outside the stadium that the Philadelphia Union call home. Initially, there were reports that were not correct, that this may have been somehow related or post-game. In fact, police, although they're not releasing any kind of motive, they don't have suspects, they don't have a firearm, but they say it had nothing to do with the Philadelphia Union game there. It just happened to be near the stadium there in Chester. A 17-year-old in critical condition. All others, the other teens, have been released from the hospital, according to police there. Now, Philadelphia police taking to choppers to help officers on the ground disperse large crowds of mostly teenagers last night. So a group of more than 100 juveniles, the Utes, were gathering in some of the city's tourist hotspots last night, right around sunset. They were mostly peaceful, police say, but there were some scattered reports of rowdiness and violence. The police receiving multiple 911 calls, officers taking no chances of that situation getting out of control, as we've seen in Philadelphia. So there were reports of some shots fired near the Market Street Bridge. I don't have any reports of anybody being shot, but there was one person taken into custody near Penn's Landing, another being taken to an ambulance, police not releasing the information on those injuries. So in the area of Society Hill, that's where they got a lot of calls, obviously, from 911 with people concerned about this large group of teenagers and kids. So the police chopper was up. You could see it pointing the spotlight at teens. Sometimes that can help disperse that crowd. So one way that they were dispersing, there were not any arrests other than that of the kids. They were trying to just disperse the crowds. I'll point out to you, they broke it up before 10 o'clock because remember, Philadelphia City Council set the curfew.
Hell yes.
So they did disperse them before the 10 o'clock curfew.
Now, everybody go home now before we shine this chopper spotlight on your forehead.
They're like cockroaches once you put light on and they all scatter.
This is where, like, parenting matters. Because if you're like a parent,
it's a school night.
Your kid probably should be at home when it's dark on Memorial Day night on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, though, that, like, the curfew is what's going to keep them up? Come on.
We're going to look at our smartphones because we don't wear watches anymore.
Guys, I know we're looting and doing all kinds of crazy things here, but it's 10 o'clock. We have to go home.
Set your alarm.
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Down the shore, there are reports this morning that a 15-year-old boy died, 4 others hospitalized after being rescued from the ocean. This at a New Jersey beach. It was North Jersey. This is Sandy Hook. But the point is that the beach was unguarded. There are not lifeguards down the shore at all shore points. And this happened in the Gateway National Rec area of Sandy Hook, unguarded beach. So a real tragedy down the shore.
I saw there was a lot of rip currents and stuff at the shore this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know who would go in the water. It was
not warm
60
enough, right?
degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a lot of walking on the beach, but I mean, come on, the water was frigid.
I'm not even sure pools are warm enough yet, unless you have one of those heated pools where you can control the temperature of the water.
Yeah, it was. We were at a family gathering yesterday, and their pool wasn't heated, but they did have a spring dance hot tub. So the kids were going in the spring dance hot tub. Even one in diapers. That was
God. Hopefully it was a swim diaper.
I know.
Yeah. Were those pride diapers?
Yeah.
That coming up. Yep. And also, just a headline, because I know Nick Kayal will get to this. President Joe Biden, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, striking that agreement to raise the debt ceiling and avert a potentially devastating government default. That's a headline this morning, and there's a lot to talk about with that one. Also, the headline of Moscow drone attack, Russia blaming Ukraine after buildings were damaged in a strike from drones. That going on as a developing story this morning. And then, yes, our Philadelphia story locally as far as Joel Embiid. Does he approve of the new coach? The word is that the Sixers are to hire former Raptors coach Nick Nurse as their head coach. He's 55 degrees, won a title in Toronto in 2019, has a
55 degrees.
Or excuse me, I'm getting ready for the forecast. Sorry, he's 55 years old. It is 55 degrees
Nick
outside
Nurse is
right now.
partly cloudy with scattered chances.
Yeah, that's cute. It's we have 55 degrees, and Nick Nurse is 55 years old. So there it is. It's kind of a worst-kept secret. I think everybody predicted it, right?
Yes.
Especially Nick Kayal did first.
But I was the first.
Right.
The first. And then everybody jumped in.
That's our story, and we're sticking with it this morning in the 6 a.m. news. But we want to get to the T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. Today, 75 degrees, but it's brisk outside, quite windy, so it won't feel necessarily like 75, but a beautiful sunny week ahead into the weekend. No measurable precipitation in store. We will warm up to nearly 90 degrees later this week in the T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. This is Kayal Company News Live, Tuesday morning edition.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210, the number to join the show as we move along this morning, 6:11, as we kick off a Tuesday with a big take.
The Big Take on Kayal Company.
The big take this morning, new-aged McCarthyism as Kevin takes a major victory lap over minor compromise. You know, McCarthyism can be defined as the political practice of publicizing accusations of disloyalty or subversion with insufficient regard to evidence. 75 years later, it's taken on a whole new meaning. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy offered a Memorial Day weekend news dump of sorts as he banged his chest over what he claims is a victory as he defended his new budget deal with President Joe Biden after facing criticism from conservatives. McCarthy claimed that they have an agreement in principle with the White House over the weekend. McCarthy acknowledged that conservatives may not have gotten everything they wanted in the deal, but argued that Democrats got nothing at all. Despite McCarthy claiming this is a step in the right direction, Republicans balked at that claim. Here's a montage from Kevin McCarthy's Twitter feed this weekend of Democrats repeatedly insisting they won't negotiate. Take a listen to Joe Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre.
David McCarthy, but not on whether or not the debt limit gets extended.
There's no deal to be had on the debt ceiling.
That's not negotiable.
We will not negotiate. There's no negotiation to be had on the debt ceiling. We will not be doing any negotiation over the debt ceiling. This is not an issue that we will negotiate on. There will not be any negotiation around the debt ceiling. There's going to be no negotiation over it. He has been very clear. We are not going to negotiate over the debt limit.
We should pass the debt ceiling clean. That's where we're at.
Suspend the debt limit without conditions.
We're going to win this fight, and it's going to be a clean debt ceiling. Now, McCarthy, he can't pass a plan with cuts.
On Capitol Hill now, the Republican-led House has passed a bill to raise our nation's debt ceiling.
You're not willing to play ball.
Play ball? Play ball? What?
I want to provide you with a brief update on where things stand with ongoing budget negotiations. The president's negotiating team has had productive discussions with the speaker's team.
On the surface, it seems like McCarthy can take a victory lap, right? Let's take a look at what he actually has in place. The Fiscal Responsibility Act. The goal of this act is to have Republicans restore fiscal sanity and hold Washington accountable. Here are the 10 bullet points of McCarthy's debt deal victory. 1, stop out-of-control inflationary spending. 2, lift more Americans out of poverty. 3, claw back tens of billions of unspent COVID funds. 4, rein in executive overreach. 5, cut red tape and streamline energy and infrastructure projects. 6, slash funding for Biden's new IRS agents. 7, restart student loan repayments. 8, make Congress work again. 9, protect our seniors, veterans, and America's national security. And number 10, block Biden and congressional Democrat demands for new taxes. They all seem logical and good on paper. The ones that I really like, if in fact they can achieve their desired results, are number 1, stop out of control inflationary spending. Number 3, recoup those COVID funds, because COVID fraud and the way we handled COVID might be the biggest bureaucratic failure from a policy standpoint in my lifetime, certainly since 2003 and Iraq WMD. Number 6, no more cash for the IRS. Because as we know, those agents with weapons are coming for small business owners and middle-class Americans, all the way down to those who work in the service industry that live off of tips. And then number 7, I would love to see all of those borrowers who signed a master promissory note repay what they promised to pay back. I'm not paying my student loan debt from Temple University while you get handouts and bailouts. No way. But I have my doubts that Kevin McCarthy will get anything accomplished. And the reason I say that is because I believe Kevin McCarthy to be the peak definition of a rhino swamp creature. Think about the timeline of how this guy has played the game. In order to secure the votes, he had to pretend to be more conservative than he really is. Once in power, he creates a bunch of bills, throws a fancy name onto it, knowing darn well that the bill is probably dead on arrival with the Senate as well as President Joe Biden. And then now he gets to claim a compromise, a step in the right direction with regard to the debt crisis we have in our nation. But some members of the GOP caucus expressed frustration with the current state of negotiations. However, those would include representatives like Andrew Clyde, Republican from Georgia, who said he was a hard pass on the deal as it stands. Quote, a $4 trillion debt ceiling increase with virtually none of the key fiscally responsible policies passed in the Limit, Save, or Grow Act kept intact. Hard pass, hold the line, he tweeted. But McCarthy says the following, quote, I'll debate this bill with anybody. Is it everything I wanted? No, because we don't control all of it. But it is the biggest rescission in history. It is the biggest cut Congress has ever voted for in that process, end quote. But I was thinking about Kevin McCarthy over the weekend as we were putting the big take together, and over the last 4 months, the only thing I really appreciate him doing is releasing the 41,000 hours of video footage from January 6th to Tucker Carlson, so that we, all Americans, could see far more surveillance than what the mainstream media and the January 6th committee showed the American public. Where's the impeachments? Where's the accountability for those who have violated others over the last 3+ years? Hearings, investigations, bombshells. We hear all these cliches and these buzzwords, but yet at the end of the day, it's all noise and it's all political theater. That's what we're dealing with Kevin McCarthy. Posturing, grandstanding, pointing fingers, all with no ability to make anything stick. But this is why it's imperative to get either Trump or DeSantis into the White House in 2025, and why it's of the utmost importance to win back the Senate. Because until we do, the only wins we can claim are the entry-level ones that come from the mouth of that little weasel Kevin McCarthy, the swamp creature, the rhino, the guy who had to beg and plead for votes. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal Company.
All right, 6:18 on this Tuesday morning. If you have thoughts on Kevin McCarthy and what transpired over the weekend, you can jump in. 855-839-1210, the phone number, 855-839-1210. Twitter and Instagram, we're on both at 1210WPHT, or you can comment in the comments section on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Come back, get some thoughts on that, and also the fallout continues for Target. You're not going to believe these two stories that transpired over the weekend. We'll give you the details when we come back. Kayal Company, live here on a Tuesday. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
You're invited to a private showing of the most important movie you'll see in retirement. The Baby Boomer Dilemma is a groundbreaking documentary from award-winning director Doug Orchard. Throughout the film, Nobel Prize winners, PhDs, and esteemed economists expose the cracks in the financial industry that have 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, and other retirement plans on the brink of collapse. After the movie, you'll receive an education that's unlike any other. Learn how to apply the solutions presented by these experts, which align with and validate our proprietary crash-proof retirement system, proven by over 5,000 consumers. Register for this complimentary screening at the William Penn Inn on June 6th and let Crash Proof Retirement provide you the crucial information you need to avoid the baby boomer dilemma that's on the horizon. Registration is required. Call 800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Joel as Mr. Softy.
A creamy, streamy, soft ice cream. It comes from Mr. Softy. Melts in a big spot like me. They call me Mr. Softy. Almost run out of breath. Ice cream makes me tired.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, July 15th in Ocean City, New Jersey, and July 22nd in North Wildwood. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. May is National Bike Month, so use your bike instead of your car or for a little bit of exercise. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hey, Philly, you know what's almost as important as our team winning? Having a sweet ride to get you to all those tailgates and watch parties. Luckily, the Busch Auto Group has you covered. Shop a wide selection of pre-owned vehicles and take advantage of rates as low as 3.99%. Plus, they'll save you over $3,000 in bonus value to drive down the cost of vehicle ownership. That's like 4 hot dogs, 3 beers, and a parking spot down at the sports complex all rolled into one. Visit us in-store or online today at bushautogroup.com. 3.99 based on your loan credit for 6 months, 25,000 minimum finance.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Summer's the perfect time for your child or grandchild to get ahead. If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to METC, called a Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Gannett, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy now at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online, METC.com. METC's tutoring studio. Call them today, 215-493-4200, or email Kathy directly, info@metc.com. Remember, 1210 listeners get a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity. Help your child get one-on-one help. 215-493-4200.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Kayal Company mornings. Rich Cioli afternoons. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
6:25. Welcome back in, Kayal Company. It is a Tuesday morning, short work week. I think everybody loves a good 4-day work week. Should be another glorious day. Good to have all of you in here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Greg, Dawn, Daniel, and Anthony. Stalker has regained control of the music.
Woo! Yeah.
Do you remember how to do this?
I think so.
Okay. Anthony Dorenzo might not remember how to do much walking.
Oh, God.
He's limping around, and he's got a crutch. He's got one crutch.
Looks like Tiny Tim.
He's like Tiny Tim. I was just going to say
Poor
that.
Anthony.
Yes.
Yeah, poor
Again.
Anthony.
I was like, would you fall down the link steps again?
Dawn has way too much compassion.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I heard it at the gym, he said, and I tweaked it. And,
gym.
And I was moving, and yeah. So Dorenzo will be, kind of bouncing around here, kind of like he's on a pogo stick for a while.
Yeah, Dawn, I hope you don't need anything quick because it's going to take him 6 months to get from his studio to yours.
That's different than any other day? Come on.
Poor Anthony.
Poor Anthony.
Has he booked that first guest for you yet?
We'll tease that coming up in the 8 o'clock hour once confirmed.
Well, if there are no other guests, we'll just have Mary. His girlfriend Mary's here. There's something about Mary.
Yeah, there is something about
So we'll
Mary,
do a
I've heard.
debrief.
Yeah, debriefing.
She moved here.
Oh, wow. So his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So his girlfriend gets here before my wife does.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Family FaceTime around 10:30 today.
Oh, man.
Daddy needs an update.
So we need a jeweler as a sponsor. He's got to, he's saving up for the ring.
He is.
Right?
Oh, man.
And if he stays in this role, he'll be saving up for a long time.
They live together first? I approve. My
You
wife
do?
and I, yeah. My
Don't
wife and
live
I,
together.
My wife and I bought a house together before we got married.
Did you really?
We did, yeah.
Well, it all worked out for you.
We bought the house in March and I proposed in May. So, I mean.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
Not
that's
bad.
as long as you have the ring,
Yeah. Yeah, pull out that rock, man.
Yeah.
855-839-1210. So thoughts and reaction to Kevin McCarthy from the weekend. I played golf on Saturday. I played golf on Sunday, but I was trying to, look at my phone here and there every couple of hours just to see what was going on in the news cycle on social media and things like that. And I started seeing Kevin McCarthy tweeting and people reacting to it. But, at the end of the day, they're increasing the debt another $4 trillion with minimal concessions. And Kevin McCarthy is talking about how this is a victory, although it's not really everything that we wanted. But at the end of the day, you got to remember, you got to be willing to compromise. And, of course, the Democrats control the Senate, and we've got a slight, very small, razor-thin margin within the House, so nothing's ever going to be easy. Don, what was your reaction to this? Because I know you've talked a lot about the debt ceiling, and whether it's mentioning it in the news or certainly on your show. Your reaction and thoughts to anything that you saw from Kevin McCarthy this weekend? Is there anything to feel good about if you're a Republican?
Well, I think the truth is, if you back it up, this was all teed up. I mean, this was all by design.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, we were dealt this hand that is now in play, but we knew this was coming. And so, I know people, we want to blame McCarthy, but I tend to say that he has to now deal with what, if you back it up in the last session, what was voted on and what had transpired.
Right.
And so, because we didn't have control of the House before, right? So
Sure.
it happened. They did this purposely before Republicans had control of the House.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knew that this was going to happen. So he's dealt this hand. So I will say that out of it. And this is ultimately, when you think about how over the weekend, and I tried to stay off social media, there was so much family and church and Memorial Day, somber, remembrances and so on. But at one point, somebody had, put out even a shot of Jill Biden walking, the first lady, and somebody shouting out about the economy. I think that part of the reason they've come to this deal, that ultimately the Biden administration and Democrats realize that the American people are blaming Biden.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the polls and you look at what's happening, and so ultimately this all rests on the shoulders of President Joe Biden. This is, he owns this.
Yeah.
He owns the debt. He owns all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine, the border, the gas price, he owns it. it's yours.
Speaking of Ukraine, I saw, and I got to imagine this is true. I don't think I got duped or I fell for like any fake clickbait. But Russia, Ukraine, Russia put out an arrest warrant for Lindsey Graham. Did you see that?
I as well thought, is this a joke? Is this a sarcasm site or something? His comments?
Can we trade Lindsey Graham over to Russia for like another WNBA player that's sitting in the cell somewhere? I mean, is that a fair trade? I'd have to ask Nick Nurse, but I mean, I didn't know if that was real or if that was fake, but apparently it's real. I mean, obviously they're not going to be able to do anything about it because Lindsey Graham resides in South Carolina, but I saw that and I thought that was pretty interesting. But one last thing on McCarthy with the debt ceiling. Miranda Devine in the New York Post wrote a piece pretty much ripping McCarthy about, how he was going to rein in the IRS. But if you break it down, and I don't know if this is sarcasm from her or Dan Bishop, who's a Republican rep, but they say the following. In the debt ceiling deal outlined on Sunday and due to be inked later this week, McCarthy has allowed the lion's share of that extra IRS funding to remain, preserving $78.1 billion, actually, let me take that back, of the $80 billion. As GOP Rep Dan Bishop put it, so now there will be 85,260 more IRS agents rather than the 87,000 to eat you alive. Big win for Republicans. And I think that kind of gives you like they quantify just how minuscule McCarthy was able to kind of bring down the IRS like a small tad, which I don't think really resonates with many Americans. Like when I'm reading that Fiscal Responsibility Act, the only ones that really stood out to me that didn't just seem like a bunch of words thrown together in a word salad were the IRS repaying the student loans and maybe one or two other things that I outlined in the big take. Like that's the other thing too with this fiscal responsibility. Like as a guy who's had student loans for a 4-year degree, and I've been out of college for 17 years, and I'm just about ready to pay them off. It just really gets under my skin when some of these people are able to try to take advantage or fell for Biden and that administration, saying that they're going to basically, what was the number? You get $20,000 up to $20,000 for each person. And I'm thinking, like I had $17,000 in student debt, and it took me almost 17,000 years to pay off. I had to put a pause on them during the pandemic. And all these people are just trying to get all these handouts and all these bailouts. And I'm like, and I'll go back to what I said months ago when we talked about that. And that was one of the main stories on this show. Like you sign a master promissory note when you're in college that says, I will repay what I borrow. Whether it takes 5 years, 15 years, or 30 years, you're going to pay it back. Like Tim Scott said that in his message that we played last week. You take out a loan, you pay it back. You commit a crime, you go to jail. These are all common sense things that Republicans are on board with. And I feel like that's one of the things, if there's anything McCarthy can do that he can put into action, I want to see these people pay back their debts because I'm not paying mine. It's just completely unfair. I'm going to be like a little 7-year-old and pout. Well, she didn't have to do it, so why do I? That's how I feel about that this morning.
But I will just remind everybody, because I know McCarthy is kind of taking the blame, but it was actually, it was December of 2021. Nancy Pelosi was in charge at that point. It was before him, and Mitch McConnell was part of the deal making there on, that nearly $31.4 trillion, which they raised it by $2.5 trillion. Mm-hmm. And so, that thing, and nobody read it. That was obnoxious.
But nobody reads anything.
And they're all like getting their, as Ziola always says, getting their vig, right? They're just shoving papers in the stack like, oh, well, here's the pork I want.
Yep, got to get your cut.
And so, so now, we all are left dealing with this. This current House inherits this hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the talking point this morning in the so-called mainstream media is, oh, no new taxes for the very rich, for the top 1%. That's what they're going to resume, people finally, after years of COVID, having to repay their loans, their student loans. That's going to once again resume. So, I just think it's easy to forget where this began, and the Democrats are counting on this. I don't think this one is going to fool the American people. I think ultimately people are looking at Biden and saying, this guy just has been a mess for America, whether it's economically, and even environmentally.
He's very irresponsible on many fronts.
So look at the whales, and you talked about the wind turbines and all of that down the Jersey Shore. I don't think anybody's happy.
No, I would agree. 855-839-1210 if you want to jump in on that conversation. So Target remains in the news. It's amazing how many corporations continually stay in the news cycle once they go down this road, from Adidas to Bud Light on down the list. But two more developments from Target, and then also another retailer that says, okay, I'm ready to jump into the kiddie pool now. But let's start with this one. So over the weekend, a report circulated late Friday claiming that Target stores in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Utah received bomb threats due to the company's LGBTQ plus Pride Month merchandise. Remember, we gave you that story before the holiday break last week about how Target was selling this merchandise, and then all of a sudden their employees tried to claim that they didn't feel safe. So especially in the South, some of the Target stores pushed all of the LGBTQ plus merchandise to the back of the store. Well, then on Friday, this report circulates that there's bomb threats to Targets in the states I just mentioned, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Utah. But media outlets like USA Today would have you to believe that the threats were sent by unhinged conservatives who hate the trans community or gay people or whatever you might say. They all cited evil Republican anti-trans laws. Well, we end up finding out that it wasn't any conservatives that sent in bomb threats. No, the bomb threats actually came from an LGBTQ plus activist who was mad that Target decided to move merchandise from the front of the store to the back. And once again, it's the easy, convenient excuse for the media and everybody on social media. Oh, it's those angry MAGA Republicans. They're unhinged. They're going to send bomb threats to retail outlets across the nation in response to their boycott. No, it was an LGBTQ plus activist who did not like the fact that Target kind of catered and craved a little bit, cratered, I should say, and moved stuff to the back of the store. Emails were sent to Cleveland 19 News about a bomb threat for Target until the stores bring back the Pride merchandise. Target had to then issue a statement saying Target is full of, this is from the LGBTQ community. Target is full of bleepin' effing cowards who turned their back on the LGBT community and decided to cater to the homophobic right-wing redneck bigots of America. That was an email from one LGBTQ member of a community to Cleveland 19 News, which I'm assuming is just, your local CBS or Fox affiliate in the city of Cleveland, Ohio. So it then lists the addresses of the 5 local stores and says, we will continue to bomb your Targets until you stop cowering and bring back your LGBT merchandise. We will not be erased, and we won't go quietly.
Wow. The
email concludes. So, yeah, people rushing to judgment, blaming conservatives. No, it was actually an unhinged LGBTQ person, which I think, to send a bomb threat via email to somebody, you got to be a little mentally whacked out to do, which plays back into my overarching, unscientific, unprofessional diagnosis of a lot of these people. I think they're all suffering from mental health breakdowns, but that's just me.
Yeah, and so think about what you're saying. They get the headline, oh, there are these bomb threats, and so now DOJ and the FBI start investigating.
Yep.
And I just wonder how many people, Nick, are actually talking about this morning. In other words, now that they have traced that email from somebody who's in the LGBT plus community, as you've said, how much play will this person be arrested and charged with felonies and terroristic threats?
Sweep it under the rug, baby.
So now they're saying, oh, it was all a big hoax. Well, I thought that a bomb threat was a felony crime.
Yeah, I thought that was a serious thing to do, right? But if the culprit isn't who the media hopes it to be, they make the story disappear. If it's a straight white cis male, he must be a Trump voter.
Yeah.
He likes his guns. He's mad about Bud Light, and now he's sending emails.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, it was somebody with purple hair and a nose ring. Shoop, sweep it away. Yep. I got you. Don't worry about it. And then lastly, with Target, this is the other story that I don't get, and this is a bigger theme that maybe we can get into. But the headline reads as follows: Target gave $2.1 million to LGBTQ groups that urges schools to hide the kids' gender transition from parents. So Target's making their situation even worse, right? They went down this road, then they moved their merchandise to the back. They piss off the community that they're hoping to appeal to. And now they say, let's make it even worse. They donate $2.1 million to an LGBTQ advocacy group that has pressured school districts to not tell their parents if the children identify as another gender. This is according to an online report by Fox. The retail giant, which has been subject to widespread boycotts in the wake of protests over its Pride collection, have partnered with the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, GLSEN. Sounds like a TV channel. Hey, Bill, you want to watch GLSEN tonight? Yeah, let's put on the Gay Education, Straight Education News Network tonight. Great shows on that channel.
What is gay education, by the way?
I have no idea. Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. I guess you learn about what it's like not to be a heterosexual human being.
Got it.
But it's a teacher group founded in 1990, so it's been around for 33 years, with the aim of creating affirming learning environments for the LGBTQ youth. They go on to say that GLSEN leads the movement in creating affirming and anti-racist spaces. I love how they use like spaces, like this little safe spaces for the LGBTQIA plus students. We are proud of 10 plus years of collaboration with GLSEN and continue to support their mission, Target said. So here's, and I guess my biggest question, it's not so much that Target did this because they've already gone down these roads before, so they're all in on this whole social credit score, ESG, CEI, the whole bit. But the whole concept of hiding a gender transition from parents, these are things that we've talked about where we've heard school counselors and, administrators in school districts hiding this transition news from parents, which makes me wonder where that comes from. Because, this is in a retail environment here for donating money back to this group for the sake of boosting their score. I've never understood what the defense is for schools to hide the gender transition from a kid's parents. The only thing I've ever been able to come to, the only conclusion that I can understand why they might do it is in the event a kid said, I'm thinking about going from a boy to a girl or a girl to a boy, and the parents are abusive towards that kid or completely dismiss it or don't get the kid help or they neglect the kid, which then I would think it becomes like a social worker issue, right? Like this becomes a state issue where somebody from the state steps in for the better welfare and protection of the child. But, Don, we talk about these stories all the time. Maybe it's just the wording, but I hate seeing how they're trying to hide something from the parents. Mm-hmm. Like, if the parents are in the kid's life, the parents need to know about this. And ultimately, it's the parent that has to raise the kid, not Target and not a school district, right?
Right. A couple of things, and I don't know what Target. I know it was a lobbying group, so I would love to know more about what motivated them to donate to this group, and do they also donate to help kids who are disadvantaged kids or differently abled kids? For example, over the weekend, I was talking with family members who said that in Montgomery County, for example, all of these programs that are the LGBTQ plus type programs come at a cost. Where have they cut? They have cut programs for kids who are severely disabled. So kids who might be on the autism spectrum now in some municipalities in Montgomery County cannot go to high school past 11th grade. And this is a crisis for many parents. And
Wow.
so there were some teachers telling me this and some parents. I want to get more into it, and they were trying to said they would send me more info, and I've made some calls on this. But you remind me of that, Nick, when you talk about Target donating. So in other words, the focus seems to be on this one tiny community when in fact there are so many kids out there who and their parents post-pandemic who need help. So on one hand, we have school districts and communities cutting, and then so they have a real need for help.
Right.
And the group that's getting a lot of new money, Target, is piling on that group. And then to your point about, and this is a critical point that you make as a dad of twin little girls who are in the 3rd grade, the one thing we are always told as parents, caregivers, grandparents, educators is that it is a huge red flag if anybody tells your child, hey, it's a secret just between us. That is ding, ding, ding. The sirens go off. That's a red flag, right?
Oh, yes.
And you and your wife were told that as parents, hey, if anybody ever has a secret, tell your kids no secrets, right? That's what we all hear. So to have this being mainstream now, encouraging that there are these secrets, this is not a good thing. It goes against every study, every higher education group, and every advocacy group. And in fact, I think educators, it puts teachers in a horrible position as well if they're being told keep a secret. I hear more teachers, Nick, saying, I don't feel comfortable with this.
I wouldn't either. If I was a teacher, I wouldn't at all. But it's spreading like wildfire right now. It's going from Target. Now Kohl's has toddler pride gear that you can buy for a little toddler as young as 3 months old. I'm seeing a picture of that. So Kohl's has jumped in. And also Chick-fil-A just hired a vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
I mean, the pride stuff is just, like Trump they made Make America Great pride stuff. So like, just because there's rainbow flags doesn't necessarily mean it's, they're sort of pushing some sort of agenda. You know what I mean? Like, it's I get what you're saying.
It's like the trendy thing to do.
We dressed my son up in a Rolling Stones t-shirt. He has no idea who the Rolling Stones are.
Right.
Yeah, and to Greg's point, I think that the difference here, it was not rainbow gear, because rainbow and unicorns are pretty universal for kids' clothes. I think that the Target trigger was that there were reportedly onesies for little boys that were made for tucking, which made no sense to me because baby boys in a onesie are usually in a diaper anyway. But then there were those tuck-it swimsuits that were really ugly that we talked about.
They were awful.
That were for biological males to tuck their private parts in this one-piecer swimsuit. I think that was what the tucking thing was, and some of the wording on the T-shirts and onesies, I think that was the concern that I heard, not just regular pride. We have pride stuff every year. June 1st, obviously coming up this week, and it's Pride Month. And by the way, one of the number one trending items was people yesterday, Memorial Day, saying those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms, they get 1 day.
And Pride gets a month.
And even Juneteenth for African Americans is June. Why isn't June? Who made that joke? Bill. Who said that? Why?
Bill Maher?
I think it was Bill. Didn't
Bill
Burr make the comment because his wife is African American, and he said, "Why do African Americans get February? We should get, African Americans should get June. Why do we get the worst month of the year, the worst, cruddiest weather?"
Well, yesterday, you know how when you go on, like if you're on your smartphone or a laptop or an iPad, and you go to Google.com and you see the Google logo right across, and they always have something in stride with whatever the theme, whatever day it is, or what month. They always have Pride Month or something next to it, or Environmental Friendly Day, or all this other stuff. There was nothing across Google's homepage yesterday for Memorial Day. What is it with big tech in Silicon Valley that they don't really acknowledge and display anything like America? It's very odd. And it goes in stride with your point of veterans get 1 day, and then, the Pride community, they get an entire month. 855-839-1210. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the hour with a couple of calls, as well as the latest on Bud Light. They just keep digging in and going further down. We're back after this. Kayal Company on a Tuesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It was the the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, this is Norman the Floorman from Norman Carpet. I told my wife I wanted to be cremated. She made an appointment for next Tuesday. No kidding, folks. If you're responsible for buying carpet for your company or organization, you need to call me now. I stock the largest selection of commercial carpet in the Delaware Valley. And yes, we can install within 48 hours. Call 800-220-RUGS. Call Norman the Floorman to save 50% off our competitor's best price. Now that's not chopped liver.
Are you a Philly entrepreneur? Do you run one of the fastest growing companies in the Philly region? Do you want to benefit by being part of the Philadelphia 100 Awards and join other winners who have been recognized by this 35-year-old organization? Free applications are now open at philly100.org.
Apply now to be highlighted as one of the fastest growing companies in the Philadelphia region. Join us in the fall when awards are recognized. Register today at philly100.org. That's philly100.org.
I was talking earlier about the spring dance hot tub, how good it feels, especially this time of year. The nights are cool. You just slip in the privacy of your own backyard. There's nothing better than your own spring dance hot tub in the privacy of your backyard, your back patio. So right now, for a limited amount of time, Spring Dance is offering some awesome deals on their best-selling hot tubs and swim spas. If you haven't stopped in one of their 4 area showrooms, you got to do this for a test soak. Yeah, you're missing out on this one. Schedule a time, you bring your bathing suit, try out a spa before you buy. So there's no better way to test out the different jets and seating options so you can figure out which model is going to work for you and your family. Plus, you can take one of their top-selling hot tubs home today for under $200 a month. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. $200 a month? Make this summer one to remember with a brand new hot tub from Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Please stop by. Visit them in Jamison, Exton, Plymouth Meeting, or Marlton. You can always shop online, springdancehottubs.com. springdancehottubs.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Ben Salem, tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
It is Kayal Company, 6:53 Tuesday morning. As we wrap up hour number 1, hopefully all of you had a good Memorial Day weekend. Nick, Dawn, Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Stream us live on the free Odyssey app. You can watch us on YouTube. Dawn will have some news coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Under an hour away until a weekend edition of What's on the Cut Sheet. 3 days worth of stuff on the sheet. We'll get to that coming up 7:45 this morning. 855-839-1210, the number. Let me grab John in Cherry Hill, who's got some thoughts on the LGBTQ stuff. John, what's going on this morning?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Everybody
thinks that this is a brand new trend, but if you look at history and what went on thousands of years ago, it's the same thing. And you know what? If you look at the Ten Commandments, not that I'm going to go on a religious diatribe but it says a lot about, even worse. Don't go after my brother's wife, animals, maidservants, manservants, whatever, and Sodom and Gomorrah. So why is this news now?
Oh, it's news now because you have these companies that have something to gain from this. And I think initially the confusion is, well, why are they willing to blow millions upon millions, if not billions, of their market share to appease, a small minority community, perhaps that doesn't even purchase their products and that might not even purchase their products, especially in the Bud Light situation, after they do this ad? Well, the answer is very simple, that they're going for these social credit scores because the biggest, and I'm not sure if people are aware of this, but I believe the largest advocacy lobbyist group in the country is the LGBTQ plus, whatever you want to call them, lobbying group, advocate group, whatever they are. And if you don't rank highly on their rating score, these CEOs in these suits are of the belief that they're failing as a business. What I even asked my sister this yesterday because she's an HR executive for a Fortune 500 company, and we were talking about it yesterday. And I said, well, how do you balance it out between, okay, we want to have a great score, but what if we lose 10% of our market share? What if we lose $20 billion? I think it was Target lost $10 billion in a 10-day stretch. And she says there's no way that they can quantify if they'll ever get that back and then gain some and pick up any new additional market share from where they were previously, but they don't care about that. She is showing me emails yesterday on her smartphone about DEI and all this stuff that we're hearing in the news. And these are the things, and she sits in on these meetings. She sits through these PowerPoint presentations on Zoom. I mean, they have an entire department. And I said to her at her company, and I won't name her company on the air, but I said, what would you say the percentage of employees at your company fall under this LGBTQ plus umbrella and the diversity, equity, and inclusion? And she looked at me straight in the face. She says probably 2% at best. Wow. And they're all clerical people. Yeah. None of the people that work in the laborious division of her company fall in this category. There's probably a few people in an administrative role at best. And yet they have spent all this time, effort, energy, and money and resources on all of this. I mean, it's wild. But, if they have to do that, I guess, for these people to justify their professional existences in their job work, in their line of work, more power to you, I guess. I don't know. I'm mystified by it because I think at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is your bottom line and your profits. But I guess that's dated thinking. 855-839-1210, the phone number. We'll come back. Kick off hour number 2. Dawn has some news. We've also got a trio of local stories. Kensington being highlighted for the trank issue, or the trank issue, however you want to call it.
These videos are insane.
It's like a zombie wasteland in Kensington.
Philadelphia again, getting national spotlight for reasons we don't want.
Yes. And then also dirt bikes in Montgomery County.
Oh, great.
Does Daniel Valdez have an alibi? Where were you, sir, Sunday around 4:30? We'll get those stories on the other side. Dawn's got the news as well. Hour number 2 coming up next here on Kayal Company.
Hey, it's Rich. The hot summer and big electric bills that go with it are just around the corner. So this is your reminder that USA Installation's free labor offer ends on May 31st. You pay for the foam and they'll install it for free. USA has insulated over 100,000 homes. And if you're one of those previous customers, they have something special for you right now. USA wants to help your friends and neighbors get the same comfort and savings you have been enjoying. They love referrals and are going to reward you for helping them get the word out. For every new whole home installation customer that is referred by you, they will give you $500 as a thank you. 3 of your friends buy, that's $1,500. Just for telling your friends how they can save money on energy bills and keep their home more comfortable. And tell them now so they can take advantage of the free labor. If you're a new customer, referrals could pay for half of your installation. That all ends May 31st. So call them at 1-800-USA-FOAM, 1-800-USA-FOAM, or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Get a home run of a deal from Dino and his team at Winter Ford. With a great selection on the 2023 Ford F-150s, Explorers, and Bronco Sports. You can now lease them for $329 a month. Plus, you can also order a 2023 model of your choice and receive $1,000 open bonus cash on any order. Call 800-428-4000 for offer details. Visit in person or online at winterford.com. Winter Ford, people you trust, service and value you'll love.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you tired of paying too much? Rescue Natural Supplements are rolling back prices to 2013 on top of Memorial savings all month long. That's right. For the entire month of May, you can buy 2 products, get 1 free, or buy 3 products and get 2 free on every single Rescue supplement. Combine decade-old rolled back prices with free bottles for huge savings. Stock up on all your favorites. 1250 Omegas, cholesterol supporters, probiotic, and brand new health gummies are all on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online, res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big. Rescue is over 50 products to target your health goals, and everything is on sale. Rolled back prices and memorial deals start now and last through the end of the month. So go shop res-q.com today. That's res-q.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. You can shed that fat and be slimmer for the summer. No more wearing cover-ups or t-shirts in the pool. NJ Diet will help you the natural way. There are no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you're burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number, locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, Princeton, and Newark, Delaware, or from home with live online video consultations. 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com, njdiet.com.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Driving home this evening, could have sworn we had it all worked out. You had this boy believing
7:03, hour 2. It's a Tuesday morning of Kayal Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You can get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, and start your own show right in the YouTube chat, the Kayal Company comment community, where you can say all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, they have their own comments and show within the show.
It's like their own little gathering space.
Yeah.
And they all say good morning to each other.
I know.
They're like, good morning, Kayal Company crew.
Yeah, nobody says good morning to us.
I
Everybody
know.
says good morning to each other, which is fine. We're a ground for people to come and meet.
That's right. We are like a old school town hall.
There we go.
How about that? All right, we got a lot coming up here. Hour number 2. We've got dirt bikes. We've got Trank.
Well, you mentioned YouTube. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Just hit the subscribe button, please.
Yep.
Please, let's hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching right now, hit the like button. Thank you.
Yes.
Do it now.
We're shooting for what? 4,000 subscribers eventually?
Yes. We need to get to 4,000. We
All
got
right.
very lax last week because of the holiday.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to really ramp it up in these next 4 days.
I know. You should. Well, you're going to be out Friday, correct? Rooney's going to be in.
Yes.
You've got only 3 days to wrap it up.
Out. I'll be working.
Oh.
I'll be at a conference at Hofstra University.
Look at you.
Conference.
Yes. So I'll still be working.
Hofstra, so people go to Hofstra and pay that pricey education to go into like radio? Still time to change majors. I'm Greg Stocker here for Odyssey. Be a doctor.
No, we have to keep this this moving. We need people to get into this industry.
Okay.
Young people.
I agree.
Like Daniel Valdez and Anthony Dorenzo.
That's correct.
The Utes.
The Utes.
Future of tomorrow.
I'm no longer the Ute.
No.
I need the next generation to come in and bail us out.
Yeah. My sister's son yesterday, Landon, asked me how old I was. He's going to be 5 in October. And I said, I'm 39. And he just looks at me and starts laughing. I'm like, what? And he's giggling. He's like, you're old.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's funny how perspective changes. As
It
you get
really
older.
is. Just yesterday, I was 13. Now today, I'm 39. All right, 7:05 Tuesday morning. Let's get to round 2 of the news. Here's Dawn Stensland.
And good morning, Kayal Company News Live this Tuesday, as Greg always says, Tuesday morning, as we wind down the month of May. We are sponsored by NTAG Philadelphia. NTAG Philadelphia, our sponsor, 56 degrees on this breezy day. Full forecast in just a moment. So a word from Philadelphia police and SEPTA police that yet another person was shot overnight on a Center City SEPTA platform. And this is the latest incident. We know that just last week, a 15-year-old, high school sophomore locally, was shot and killed on a SEPTA train. So police say it happened at 15th and Market Streets. That's right across, as you know, from Philadelphia City Hall. So we don't have all the details of this one. It did cause the Market Frankford line subway trains to bypass the 15th Street station overnight. That is an active investigation. Also, state police in New Jersey searching for a man who tried to abduct a 7-year-old boy from a South Jersey Wawa. This happened yesterday around lunchtime, and they're now releasing photos from surveillance cameras in hopes of catching this guy in what they say is an attempted luring case. So the state troopers say that the little boy was waiting outside the bathroom for his mom when the man approached the little boy, offered him candy to come out to his car, tried to get him to come out. The boy refused. The man grabbed his arm and then was headed for the emergency exit. But the boy was able, thank God, to break away, to break free. So then the man and I guess the dad of the little boy came around. They tried to catch this guy. He fled, but they did capture all of this on surveillance camera.
Thank God.
It just takes your breath away to think about that. So there is an urgent notification. This guy's picture, they're trying to get it out everywhere. We will tweet it out as well. But they're saying if you see this person, if you know who this is, state police in South Jersey, they want to hear from you. The boy's okay. The family psychologically, pretty shaken up.
Yeah.
It's
funny you bring this up. My mother-in-law mentioned something a couple of days ago to me. She was talking about, how nowadays you have to be so careful with kids. My mother-in-law, she doesn't even want her granddaughters, and she's got 4 of them, getting off the school bus and walking 2 blocks home, because in this day and age, that kid might not make it home. Whereas, in the 60s and 70s, she was saying about how, we never thought twice about it. We would walk 10 blocks off the bus. We didn't lock our doors at night. It's like, the whole hey, things are just so much crazier than they used to be when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary. And then we did have the situation we talked about, so I'll just briefly touch on it, that yesterday about 100 kids and teens were swarming Philadelphia, large crowds last night, really swarming Philadelphia streets, especially in the Society Hill section of the city, Penn's Landing. There were a couple of arrests, only 2 that I see, but police ultimately in these situations are told to disperse the crowds. There were reports of shots fired near the Market Street Bridge. I don't have confirmation that actually happened, but there were 911 calls to that effect, and the police ultimately saying that all the juveniles, the youths, were dispersed before the 10 p.m. curfew that has now been imposed by Philadelphia City Council. So we have that going on. And then, of course, yes, we'll be talking moving forward. We've touched upon the fact that President Joe Biden, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, reportedly striking a preliminary agreement to raise the debt ceiling, averting that potentially devastating government default. That's the headline. They have until June 5th to hash out more details. So we had heard June 1st. Now we're hearing June 5th. That's the latest on that one. And there's word this morning, Russia is blaming Ukraine after buildings were damaged in that strike from drones. So a drone attack, that's what's going on overseas. And then today, of course, in Iowa, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, one of the political headlines is that DeSantis is unveiling his campaign stumping in Iowa today. That's going on. T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. Before we get to that, the word is that the Sixers' new coach, Nick Nurse, cutting the deal, meeting with Joel Embiid. We've got that going on. And we are sponsored by NTAG Philadelphia with amazing worldwide career opportunities and up to $115,000 just to join. The U.S. Navy is ready to forge your future. Call them today at 443-681-9880. NTAG Philadelphia sponsoring our news. T-Mobile Weather Center forecast, and we are teed up for quite a warm-up this week. So today it's breezy, and even though the high says 75-ish, it'll never feel like 75 because of these brisk winds moving through bright sunny skies. But for the rest of the week, that's when the warm-up begins. Partly cloudy most of the week, 81 degrees tomorrow. Then we warm up to 87 for Thursday, 91 degrees by Friday.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so a hot one.
I'm golfing with Opelko on Friday, by the way, at his club down in Delaware.
Get ready to sweat.
Oh, yes.
91.
Advantage Nick over Mike, 91. He's going to wither away on the back nine. He's going to melt into a puddle.
What, because you're more used to it being coming from Nashville and those
Well,
areas?
and I'm also younger. So.
Oh, that's not right. That is
ouch.
Come on.
Hey, he's got the home course advantage. He knows the lay of the land there. I don't.
All right.
I got to take all the weather I can get.
All right.
Thank you, Dawn.
And yes, Saturday 81. The only chance of any showers I see all week, Saturday just a slight, maybe 20-ish% chance of some showers moving through, but 81. And then Sunday, we drop down to 76 degrees with less humidity. But a mostly sunny week ahead through Sunday. That's your T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. This is Kayal Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, 855-839-1210. If you want to jump in, a couple of local stories here for the next couple of segments. Let's start with this one. I thought it was bad enough in the fall when Mexico was running an ad mocking Philadelphia and Kensington specifically for the drug issues in our cities. But then this kind of takes the cake over the weekend. Now, I actually saw a video, which I think the Daily Mail is referring and referencing to here. But inside Philadelphia's zombie land, trank addicts crowd sidewalks and shoot up in broad daylight. DailyMail.com lays out this story about this terrible trend that we obviously see way too frequently in Philadelphia. They call it the trank hellscape. Disturbing new footage shows devastating scale of drug crisis in Kensington neighborhood with addicts crowding filthy sidewalks and shooting up in broad daylight. For those that are unaware for some reason, obviously Philadelphia's got this trank epidemic, and in the Kensington neighborhood, it is known as ground zero for the city's drug crisis. And the drug, which is the street name, is trank. I believe it's pronounced xylazine, which is this terrible flesh-eating, destroying of your body drug. It's a lethal sedative.
Awesome.
That is often used to enhance the effects of heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine. So bad enough if you're on those three drugs, factor this in, and then all of a sudden you're just either walking around like a zombie or laying on a sidewalk like a carcass. And I saw this video over the weekend, and and I'm not surprised. I mean, we've all seen it before, but you just have the way the camera was videoing this. You had this sidewalk that had to be almost 10, I would say close to 10 yards wide. And then the street with people driving their cars, stopping at this red light, going under an underpass, which looks like a train or like a railway underpass. And I can't imagine driving through there as just a citizen for whatever reason you're going through to get to wherever you're going, and you coming to a stop at that red light and seeing that and like having two emotions. One, feeling incredibly awful for these human beings, and then two, your own safety, hoping you get through that red light without any issues. But I mean, these people are there was people just laying in shopping carts, sleeping on a grocery bag. I'm like, this is like, this shouldn't.
Walking Dead. It's The Walking Dead. Yeah. It's drug addiction and this stuff is nothing new.
No.
The problem is that it's open season. You can do it out in public.
Yeah.
You can sit there like a zombie on the street corner, and it makes our streets look like literal crack dens.
Yes.
The streets of Kensington have become literal crack dens.
And this is what Sam was running against, Sam Oropesa, for city council at large, about removing, this type of environment and allowing this to occur on your streets.
Yep.
And it's, we're talking about it here locally in Philadelphia with Kensington, but you see these types of things in all of these big cities now, where these Democrats and all these progressive, they want to just legalize this stuff and say, well, we don't have a solution for it. So, just camp out wherever you want, build a tent, and shoot up.
Yeah, and it's not – look, we can get into the argument about legalizing stuff and not legalizing stuff. The problem is that it's they're allowed to do it in the open and just sit there on the streets and nobody can do anything about it.
Yeah.
And, it makes that area uninhabitable, because who the hell wants to live there unless you absolutely have to?
Yep.
And we get videos like this that make Philadelphia look like a third world nation.
Well, and in the video that I saw, there were a few, I don't know if they were officers or what their specific titles were, but they were just walking through and heading down to the next, whatever their end destination is that they're walking to. And they just walk by like it's like, just another day at the office.
Yeah.
Right? One guy over here with a needle in his arm, another guy was shooting one into his calf muscle. This guy's passed out on the curb. And, we just talked about, the children and kids and, possibly being abducted. And I brought up that story about my mother-in-law said. Now, I don't know how many kids specifically walk directly that route. But, Dawn, you've mentioned about, school transportation and, whether you're a walker or you got to take public SEPTA transportation. Can you imagine being a kid and you're unfortunately living in that neighborhood and it's rough and you got to go by that every day to and from school? Now, I don't know if they do, but if so, as a 12-year-old, that's not enjoyable.
No, it's horrifying. And the pictures are disturbing to see. This drug, the impact of it, the xylazine that Nick mentioned, if you see the pictures, these people, all different people, men, women of all different ethnicities, white people, black people, brown, you know what I mean? Because there are people from all over the state or the country that are coming here because they know they can. But the one guy looks like some biblical leprosy situation, where his arm has some kind of mummy wrapping on it, but then the open gaping wound on the rest of his arm, because it's a necropsy, that's what they call it, right? Where it's the flesh eating. And their legs are deformed oh my goodness. I can't, this is a crisis, an emergency. How can we just allow this?
It's the decay of humanity. I mean, it's the most grotesque stuff you can literally see. I mean, this trank stuff basically eradicates your limbs. Essentially, is what it does. Flesh eating away, your feet fall. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, like, I don't know if this is a legit comparison or not, but it reminds me of people that have like uncontrollable diabetes where they end up having, gangrene, and then they got to have like a limb amputated because their blood sugar is completely out of control or they don't take care of themselves. This is like, having like raging diabetes times 10 on steroids. I mean, if you've seen the video, I'll see if I can try to find it. I saw it. I think it was on Friday. It was circulating. It was one of the conservative Twitter feeds put it out with like a kind of like a broken heart emoji of how does this continue to happen in the city of Philadelphia?
And it's making international news.
Yes.
I mean, you look at it, it's shocking. You see this one guy, he's leaning over a wheelchair to steady himself, gets out of the wheelchair, cannot even stand up, and has a needle, has a new clean needle though.
Right.
That he got, from Philadelphia. And he's trying to get it into the vein of his arm, of his forearm. And you think, oh my goodness, how can we just allow this to happen? To your point, kids are walking by. And by the way, they're blocking bike lanes, are they not? We're the bike police.
I saw that.
They should take this video and put it in every middle school,
Scared Straight,
early high school as a Scared Straight thing. Like, this is what this drug does to you.
This is your brain on trank.
This is the best anti-drug commercial I've ever seen, and it's sad.
It is.
That it's from Philadelphia.
It is. And there's so many other layers to this. Like, we can sit here and say, well, how can we house migrants from the southern border and give them $400 a night hotel rooms and food and things like that, yet we can't clean up our own mess? Now, if you're offered help and you don't take it, well, then ultimately, I believe in, you're an adult, you're held accountable and responsible for your own actions. You turn it down, that's on you. But, it's one of these things, I think, as Americans, if you have some sort of compassion, you sit there and you say, how can we not get our own situations like this under control? But yet we're allowing what we're allowing at the southern border, which, oh, by the way, also opens us up for more drugs, infiltrating this country through the southern border. In some odd way, it almost kind of feels interconnected in some regards. If you guys have thoughts, 855-839-1210. We'll continue with a couple other local stories here in Philadelphia when we come back as we work our way towards what's on the cut sheet. That's coming up at 7:45 this morning right here on Kayal Company.
This is Flea for This Little Light, a podcast about falling in love with music. I started a nonprofit music school about 20 years ago called the Silver Lake Conservatory of Music. The reason that I started doing this podcast was music education. I'll be speaking with Rick Rubin, Thundercat, Stuart Copeland, Margot Price, Corey Henry, Cynthia Erivo, Sheila E., and Patty Smith.
Please listen and follow This Little Light, a presentation of Cadence 13 on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Rich. Zioli, the hot summer and big electric bills that go with it are just around the corner. So this is your reminder that USA Installation's free labor offer ends on May 31st. You pay for the foam and they'll install it for free. USA has insulated over 100,000 homes. And if you're one of those previous customers, they have something special for you right now. USA wants to help your friends and neighbors get the same comfort and savings you have been enjoying. They love referrals and are going to reward you for helping them get the word out. For every new whole home installation customer that is referred by you, they will give you $500 as a thank you. 3 of your friends buy, that's $1,500. Just for telling your friends how they can save money on energy bills and keep their home more comfortable. And tell them now so they can take advantage of the free labor. If you're a new customer, referrals could pay for half of your installation. That all ends May 31st. So call them at 1-800-USA-FOAM, 1-800-USA-FOAM, or usainstallation.net.
USA Insulation.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit your use of fuel. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hey, this is John Ritchie. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and you're not using a PDQ POS system, it's time to make the switch. PDQ POS will not only save you time, effort, and money, but it's the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available. That's why PDQ POS has been the top-rated restaurant management system for over 35 years. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, PDQ can help your business succeed. Visit PDQPOS.com.
This time of year, summertime, 91 degrees by the end of the week. Time of year when you're out and about with family and friends. But the year's almost half over and you're still dealing with that knee or hip pain. Enough's enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer, and there's downtime to that. You really need to call QC Kinetics. Call them today. Don't put this off. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without that chronic joint pain, and you can do all those summer activities that you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and then applying them right into your achy joint so that your joint tissue can actually be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary, and it's right here in the Philadelphia region. Patients across America and patients across Philadelphia having life-changing results, and there are no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. So if you're suffering in pain, maybe in your knees, your back, your aching shoulders, your hips, you need to stop what you're doing. Call QC Kinetics now. Just go in for a free consultation and learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Just call them 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics, would you just call them already? 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Mount Laurel, we know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Mississippi, she's calling my name.
725, Kayal Company, as we continue. Tuesday morning, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, Nick, Dawn, Greg, Anthony, and Daniel. As we were just talking about the trank issue in the Kensington area of Philadelphia and this disturbing video that is circulating social media. I was able to find it during the commercial break. I just tweeted it out at Nick Kayal, Kayal. If you want to take a look at the video that we're talking about, I mean, you basically have people going up and down steps, down escalators, and this video is being filmed under one of the overpasses of public transportation. And you sit here and you watch this video, and there's just human beings just laying in trash on the sidewalk as people are walking by, people are driving to get to wherever they're going, and there's got to be, I don't know, at least 50 people on this curb. And it's just, I mean, it's heartbreaking, and we have, it's weird in this country, we have money for what we want to spend it on, right? We can give billions and billions to Ukraine as we fight this proxy war. You go on down the list, and then you sit there and you say, well, what about getting some of these people the help they need and getting them off the street and cleaning up our streets? So it's twofold. It's one, it's a human thing, and two, it's a visual thing for your city. Anthony Dorenzo, you're one of the guys who actually lives inside the city limits along with Dawn Stensland. I know you had some thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that Kensington and Fishtown are one of the most trendy and sought-after places in the city, and you have to deal with this day in and day out. And I know someone was mentioning how we need to have more arrests with this when I speak about it, and I don't know, I think the trend of arrests has kind of led us to where we're at right now, and just kind of not caring and leaving these people for dead. Like the trend of sending them to rehab and giving a reaching hand and helping out, it just really seems like that went away. I don't know. Obviously, you guys are older than I am, but I feel like that used to be more of a thing than it is now.
It just seems like they're left out there as trash.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Like, as a human, you're like, man, these people are just there, like, rotting away.
We need we need leadership. We need city leaders to declare a crisis. This is an emergency. It's a danger to those who are out there. It's a danger to the community. And this is not acceptable. And that's just it. We need to have zero tolerance. And the fact that city leadership knows about it, it's making international news. And Where is Sherelle Parker, who's running as mayor in the primary against David O? What was one of the first things that Sherelle Parker said? She said, well, we're going to clean up Philadelphia. No longer are we going to have these names like Philadelphia and Killadelphia. Well, why don't you start here?
Yeah.
Rather than talk about abandoned cars and trash on the streets and street sweepers, why don't we start here? Because this is a human crisis happening in real time right before our eyes.
Yes. Well said. 855-839-1210. Let's try Roseanne, who is in Philadelphia, and she's got some thoughts. Roseanne, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, and I enjoy your program every morning.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add that, unfortunately, at Bridge and Pratt, for example, that is a big hub where you have a lot of transportation entering, different areas of Philadelphia, and they're, switching on to different things like the Frankfurt L and the buses. That whole terminal area there is a whole population underneath of that area there. It is a community of addicted people, and the social workers do go down there. I've actually met social workers who go down there and they try to help the people, but there's not much they can do.
Yeah.
The addiction, as you know, to get off any kind of a drug is almost impossible because the cells have all changed. So now we've got to try to reverse them, and the pain in doing that is so great. And then the numbers of population under the Frankfurt L area, that Bridge and Pratt area, is enormous.
Yeah.
It's a whole community. They have babies. The babies are naturally born addicted.
Ugh.
And whether they're getting treated at CHOP or St. Christopher's is beyond me. But we used to have a lot of addicted children coming into the children's hospitals, and the parent would be over at, say, Penn.
Right.
But no matter what, the situation is so out of control. I don't know if money can cure it.
Yeah. No, it's a great point, Roseanne. Thank you very much. And, the thing that stands out to her phone call there is about how the social workers, they go down there and they try to help with whatever training and, instruction they have and whatever resources are available to them. And my wife used to be a social worker for 16 years, not in that field, but dealing with child abuse and kid issues. And social workers can only do so much, right? Like, you get the support sometimes of police, and sometimes the police will accompany you if it's a safety issue. But, your local county social workers, I mean, their hands are tied, to her point. Like, they can't do much. It's optics, if anything.
There are a lot of good people who are, to your point, Nick, it's not just social workers or paid volunteers. I know my church, churches and synagogues across the region, I know, are gathering. They get clothes, they get donations of baby materials for the babies being born, which is sickening. And is that not child abuse? But why not just declare this? Why not declare these drug dealers who are dealing the xylazine as terrorists? Look at what they're doing to our public, and declare that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would do that at the border as well. Whether you're the American, because you can clearly see in the pictures of everything that's on there, you can see there's some guy who's like a husky, healthy guy who's standing there with all of these different people who look like zombies, who are emaciated and have these sores. So you can clearly kind of figure out, what's that big guy there who looks really healthy and wealthy doing? He's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
So that guy is a terrorist.
Yep.
Arrest him.
Bobby says on Twitter, this isn't new. This has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Kenny has been pushing them from place to place on Kensington Avenue for years now. Do a Kensington Avenue YouTube search, and you'll be surprised how long it's been going on. I mean,
not to this level.
I'm certainly
I've been
aware
covering
of it.
news in the city since 1997.
But now
it has never
seems,
been this bad.
To your point, it seems now, I mean, when the Daily Mail's picking it up and these international, because the Daily Mail, I believe, is a British website. I think it's owned and it's operated from the UK. Like, to your point, when it's globally being covered now, yet here in our own city, it's just like, well, it is what it is. It's a big city. You're going to have this type of stuff.
Never.
Yeah.
And you started out the conversation by talking about the fact that other countries like Mexico show this as like anti-drug messages. Look at what's going on in America and Philadelphia. And by the way, you do have to wonder, and we wondered out loud, if that's why we don't have as many buses coming here from the southern border, because they're thinking, we all saw those videos in our school training. We don't want to go to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Mike Braun says, so very sad. Should have mental health and healthcare mobile trucks coordinate with police. Jeremy Burke says, it's not even real. You just can't imagine that this actually exists. We're losing the war here at home.
I would just take a backhoe or something. just sweep out the streets.
Jeez, Stalker's going to come through with like a Zamboni.
Let's start over again, okay?
Let's redo this.
This didn't work. Take two.
Oh, my God. This is your brain on Trank. I can totally see Stalker being the lead producer for that commercial.
And there was one girl, I don't know if you saw this, it was making the Twitter rounds. She was on with like Aaron Burnett or somebody from CNN.
Oh, well then nobody saw it.
And right. And I'll have to send it to you. And she was talking about Philadelphia, and she just was so drugged up, talking about shooting up and the drugs, and they were doing a segment on it. But this is our beautiful city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is the result of 40 years without an NBA championship.
Stop.
Even longer without a hockey championship.
Stop.
See? It just means more here.
Yes.
855-839-1210. What's on the cut sheets coming up at 7:45? But before that, approximately 500 dirt bikes fled the streets. I shouldn't say fled, flooded the streets of North Philadelphia. And they came into Montgomery County. What were they doing? We'll find out next here on Kayal Company.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill. The energy bill, that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12 months same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
I'm not even mad that I've never experienced that so-called brotherly love you all brag about here in Philly. I wouldn't expect that being a huge rival and all.
That's football legend and all-time rushing leader Emmitt Smith.
Even though we've been on different sides of the field, I'm still going to extend some kindness to you folks and tell you all about a way to get relief from that awful joint pain without surgery or harmful medications. That's QC Kinetics.
They're the nation's leader in regenerative treatments that go right to the source of your pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, using your natural healing properties right in the office. No downtime to get you the relief you deserve.
See, we're all in this together when it comes to getting relief from that nagging joint pain. I'm glad I can show you some brotherly love, Philly.
Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics. 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Miller Lite has high hopes for the Phillies this season. So catch every game at Timothy's in Westchester with a $5 22-ounce Miller Draft Special. Timothy's Westchester features an extensive pub menu like the Nachos Grande, the Nashville Chicken Sandwich, and their famous Buffalo Wings. So enjoy every Phil's game at Timothy's Westchester. Timothy's Westchester, a proud partner of WIP's High Hopes Pod with James Seltzer and Jack Fritz. It's Miller time, Phillies fans. Celebrate responsibly.
Here's retirement phase expert Phil Cannella with today's report.
We're calling today's report Financial IQ. The American Institution of CPA's Financial Literacy Commission's recent study found that 63% of the U.S. population failed a basic financial literacy test. As baby boomers retire, they have a troubling financial future, along with many other Americans making the same mistakes, ranging from credit card debt and the lack of budgeting to emergency savings shortfalls, expensive car loans, and non-existing retirement goals. Everything is tied together and will determine one's successful financial future. Now, according to the Financial Literacy Commission, this lifestyle of not budgeting or planning creates a vicious cycle. People need credit cards to pay for their high cost of everyday spending, such as mortgages and health insurance, and the average car loan is a staggering $528 per month. And because we didn't budget correctly, and many of us are living beyond our means, we're not going to have that rainy day fund left over. So retirement financial goals will suffer greatly, which puts your future at risk. Now, that explains why more than half the people working don't think they're going to have enough money for retirement. And that's according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The foundation for a high financial IQ is education, complete with an evaluation of your finances. Seek out your retirement phase expert who will allow you to take control over your financial future.
To hear more stories that will impact your financial future, join Phil Cannella and Joanne Small this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the Crash Proof Retirement Show, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, Doylestown. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
What's on the cut sheet coming up in just about 5 minutes? It's Tuesday morning here on Kayal Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Odyssey app, and you can watch us on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe, hit the like button. Do whatever Stocker says, because he's trying to go into the brand manager meeting on Thursday and tell other stations within our building to hold his beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. We got 4,000 subscribers. That little AM station down in the corner of the building. Yeah, how about that? You want to make a push for a certain number?
No, I just want you, if you're listening right now, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. 1210 at 1210 WPHT on YouTube. YouTube.com/@1210 WPHT.
All right. Speaking of YouTube and YouTube creators, we have Gary in the Northeast who's with us. And he's a YouTube creator that's focused on what's going on in Kensington with the drug crisis. And he's with us this morning. Gary, how are you, sir?
Very good. So happy to be in the Northeast and not in Kensington this morning.
All right. What have you seen? What does your YouTube channel consist of? Tell us about it a little bit.
Well, it didn't start out as a Kensington channel. It just kind of recently evolved into it. But what I noticed what a lot of YouTubers are doing is they're just walking by or driving by, and they're playing this somber music. And so I bring a very unique view to Kensington. I do up close and personal. And I do that through the art of surveillance. And I'm good at surveillance because I've been a private investigator for 33 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I look for, busy section. I pull up and I jump in the back and I start filming away. And you actually get a really raw view of what's taking. Objective for me has been to just bring this attention to this area and how bad it's become, because it's moving into other sections of the city. People are getting pushed out, and
Sure.
and they're moving into parts of the city that people aren't ready to handle that.
Now, you said when you pull up and you jump into the back, so you stay in the back of your vehicle with this, or do you actually get out on the street and go up and close and personal?
I stay in my vehicle.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable yet getting out.
Okay.
I don't want to get that close,
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally understand, Gary, and keep up the good work. If you can, shed some light on this, and obviously it's, the powers that be know what's going on, and they've probably seen it up close and personal firsthand, or at the very least have seen it on social media and YouTube channels like the one that you just referenced. I got to tell you, there's no way you would be able to get me to go out there and, that's a guy right there, Gary, who said he's got over 3 decades of, private investigation expertise. I mean, to go up close and personal and try to do it like on the down low, whether like, you have like a little body cam footage or a hidden camera on your shirt pocket or something, who knows? I mean, you might get stabbed with a needle. You just don't know what you're going to run into there.
Well, that's just it. Most people, tragically, can't even stand up and have no strength.
Mm-hmm.
But every once in a while, there is somebody who maybe is new to the neighborhood or whatever. Maybe the drug is speaking, and they would do something like stab you or try to rob you, or
Right.
who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, they're so drugged up, they're a shell of themselves, and there have been stories that we've talked about where you see these parents, they're from like another part of Pennsylvania, they're looking for their son or daughter, and walking around, and they find their 21-year-old or 20 whatever. It's tragic because these people obviously they get hooked on this stuff. They end up. How do they know to come here? And that's just it. That the word is out. Oh, come to Kensington. Come to the Kensington section of Philadelphia, and you're welcome here. And so they're coming from not just across Pennsylvania, but from across the country.
Yeah. It's like you go into the restroom at a bar, and you go into that stall, and it says, "For a good time, call Susie." And then now it's, "For a good time, come to Kensington." That's exactly what's going on here. And then lastly, on the local front, yesterday, I saw this. Approximately 500 dirt bikes flood the streets of North Philadelphia and drive into Montgomery County for, quote, unknown reasons. Several hundred dirt bikes, ATVs, and motorcycles flooded the streets of North Philadelphia on Sunday night. Dirt bikes and ATVs are illegal to operate on city streets, according to city officials. A drone video shows hundreds of dirt bikes taking over the area of 6th and Lehigh Avenue at around 4 p.m. Police began monitoring the large group around 4:30. Officials also said that the Philadelphia Police Department has designated police details that proactively monitor known gathering locations for these biker groups. They eventually left and then headed to Montgomery County. Police say roughly 500 dirt bikers were involved in the incident, and many committed traffic violations, such as running red lights. It's still unclear, according to 6ABC, why so many dirt bikers were on the roads. I would love to know what this is in regards to, and also if Daniel Valdez was included, because I know Daniel Valdez is a Montgomery County resident, and he's got a bike. So that was going on Sunday, which, it's interesting when you see these massive groups. Because, Dawn, earlier this morning, when you had the story about all these people that were showing up, where was it in your first news this morning?
Subaru Park.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I thought maybe you were going to this story specifically. And 500 dirt, like, if you're a police officer and you're assigned to, or you're responding to that, or you're in the monitoring mode, is what 6ABC is saying here. I mean, you got to, be a little concerned because police officers, you're outnumbered in this situation. I mean, good luck dealing with this. I mean, you get a couple of traffic violations, but I don't know. I've never been in the bike community, so I don't know what exactly these large gatherings are done for and what exactly they accomplish.
Well, I wonder because at some point they were in North Philadelphia, and I wonder if there was a police presence, because they can confiscate them now and take them.
Good.
So I wonder if they were trying to elude and evade Philadelphia police.
Yeah.
And ended up traveling into Montgomery County.
Well, if they evade police, I'll run them over with my Honda Ridgeline truck that I got from Piazza Auto Group.
I swear to you, I know I'm not just saying this for shock value for the radio. Bring in the effing National Guard with tanks and run these people over. I'm tired of these, because they know in numbers like this, they can do whatever they want.
I know.
And a few cop cars, a few police aren't going to stop them.
There's a couple of weeks ago, I think I told you the story on air where I heard people that sounded like they were doing, I guess we'll call them donuts. Back in the day when you get in your car and you'd whip around in a circle as loud as you can, your tires start screeching. I heard it in one of the empty parking lots across from my apartment complex. And it was going on for like a half hour. And it happened 2 or 3 times, probably in a 10-day stretch. Now, these weren't dirt bikes, but they were a bunch of these guys with these little souped-up sports cars, like the little Honda Civic that they put more money into the car with all their accessories than the actual car's probably worth today. And they just make all this loud noise with their big exhausts and those big mufflers. And I'm like, I just want to run you over with my truck so I can go back to sleep. But anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it was a huge group. They were on the Belmont Plateau.
Yes.
Then onto Montgomery Ave. So that's what happened. It was like by the main line.
Isn't that where we did the
cleanup?
Cleanup.
Yes.
So Belmont Plateau, which is you know the area. It's the huge park there. Then they make their way to Montgomery Avenue and then to City Avenue, which is the city line. And that's why they ended up going into Montgomery County, because the police became aware. But it looks like they're trying to track the group. So maybe some of the bikers are actually from Montgomery County and they were able to disperse them. But I don't know. I mean, they have a drone video on 6ABC. So truthfully, why don't they attack like their tires, like shoot out their tires with drones?
There we go. Now we're talking.
Well,
now
do
we're
some
talking.
Dukes of Hazzard stuff, baby.
Take them to the Ben Franklin Bridge and just swerve and oops. Sorry.
If
you guys all ended up in the water. Sorry about that.
If they would have done this on our Odyssey Earth Day, I would have thrown my pooper scooper at them as I'm scooping up trash.
Trek 200 on YouTube says Greg is already turning into the "you kids get off my yard" guy.
Good. We need more of those guys.
No, I'm serious.
No, I know. We need more of them.
The only way to get law and order back in this city is to make examples.
Yes.
Make examples of these people.
Or we got to hire the Ohio bus driver.
I'm going to start kicking some serious ass.
That's what I'm saying.
And these are not Harleys. These are dirt bikes, ATVs.
Yeah.
These are low-energy motorcycles.
Yeah, these little dweebs on dirt bikes.
If it's a Harley, I'm going to give them a pass on my street.
It's our dirt bikes.
Yeah.
We're a tough gang.
Mm-hmm. 500 of us.
Yeah.
Ugh. Start pulling out some firearms and see what's up. Get your dirt bike, pal. All right, 7:49. Let's get to a weekend installment of What's on the Cut Sheet.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
I had 3 days to prepare for this, so it damn well better be good. What's on the Cut Sheet on this Tuesday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, where Costco members save like $2,500 on the XC40 or $1,000 on other models. These can be combined with other offers. See store for details. Relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Check them out on Route 70 at Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. Thank you, Cherry Hill Volvo, for sponsoring the Tuesday edition of What's on the Cut Sheet. Over the weekend, SUNY Law School had a commencement speaker, Fatima Mousa Muhammad.
Yes.
Musa Muhammad?
Future big-time attorney.
She said during her speech...
Is it Fatima?
Is it? I don't know. Fatima? Sure.
I don't know. Eat more salads then.
So dumb. She claims that laws are white supremacy, and America has a ravenous appetite for destruction and violence.
Okay. So laws, rules, punishment for violating what we tell you not to do is white supremacy.
Yes.
Okay.
She also called for a revolution to take on the legal system's white supremacy and rip the fascist NYPD, military, and Israel.
So she'll be a defense attorney when she gets out of law school. All right, we got that.
So we have a little bit of her commencement speech. By the way, this is the front page of the New York Post this morning. Stark raving grad.
Mm-hmm. I figured that would be headline.
It's awesome. Here, wait. I'm just going to put it up to the YouTube video here so you can see the front page. Okay, here's the speech.
Recognize that the law is a manifestation of white supremacy that continues to oppress and suppress people in this nation and around the world. We joined this institution to be equipped with the necessary legal skills to protect our communities, to protect the organizers fighting endlessly day in and out with no accolades, no cameras, no votes, no PhD grants, working to lift the facade of legal neutrality and confront the systems of oppression that wreak violence on them. Systems of oppression created to feed an empire with a ravenous appetite for destruction and violence. Institutions created to intimidate, bully, and censor and stifle the voices of those who resist.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, girl. Now you're $122,000 in debt for your law degree. You're going to be a public defender making $54,000, and you're going to be in debt until you're 60.
And by the way, with her law degree, it's reek, not wreck.
Yes.
Grammar jar violation.
I've got a jar right here for you,
It's a
girl.
boot.
Fill it up. No, law is actually the manifestation of humans because humans are jagoffs and need to be reprimanded for their lack of following rules in a civilized society. It's not white supremacy. Boy, maybe this is the reason I never went and finished law school, because they're all liberal maniacs. I mean, lawyers are overwhelmingly left-wingers for the most part. There's a select few that are conservative, and I knew it from day one. As soon as I got into that law school in Nashville, I looked around and I'm like, look at all these people. They're all enjoying wearing their mask here in law school. Bunch of nut jobs.
What's more disturbing, the fact that they brought this person on to speak, or the fact that she got thunderous applause for everything she said?
Thunderous applause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because probably 90% of those people agree with what she said.
Well, that's the problem, is that, a commencement speaker is whoever the school wants. But you don't have to. I mean, they booed Zaslav or whatever that guy's name is, because he wasn't paying his writers because he was the head of Warner Brothers or whatever.
That's correct. Well, whatever happened to the screening process? Do we no longer screen speeches before they go out and make a speech, even at something like a graduation?
Yeah, I understand.
If I'm the dean of the law school, I'm reading that over the night before and saying, hey, a little radical here. You dial it back a little bit?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm all for, because I don't like it when it happens to comedians or people that give opposing views on college campuses. So I'm all for having a conversation. I'm all for speakers that want to come and speak. If you don't like it, don't go. Commencement's a little different because you're a captivated audience then. You're a captive audience. You have to be there. So it's not like an elective.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, that's true.
One of the best commencement speeches that I've quoted when I give speeches, and presidential candidate Marianne Williamson, to shine your light.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you not to shine your light?
Oh, okay.
She's that speaker. She's a wonderful writer for those kind of commencement speeches, which I think are very hopeful and empowering people. And that's really what ultimately a commencement speech should be about, is about the future and hope and the bright light that these graduates might bring into the world.
Did she give one here locally, or is that from somewhere else? You just heard it?
Oh, no, no.
I know she's not local, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was maybe given here locally.
Well, that's a good question. Did she ever do a Penn graduation? I will check on that.
Okay. Very good.
By the way, Dylan Mulvaney's a giant fraud.
No.
What?
Shocking. The hell you say?
The trans influencer recently told their parents, I don't even know what to call this person, that they may be a little romantically interested in women.
So Dylan Mulvaney, dude pretending to be a girl, might actually be romantically attracted to females.
Do you feel like Bud Light got played?
Yeah.
by somebody who is not really authentic.
Yeah. Yes, because biological females don't act like Dylan Mulvaney does. Right, Dawn?
Right. It's mockery. But this goes to, remember the Patagonia person?
He said.
Who's a guy in drag.
A real life homosexual.
But because not all guys in drag, I got this lesson. There are some men who are performers and they do a bit or comedy. So not all guys in drag are gay, but Patagonia is.
Right.
I'm trying to get this all straight.
Yeah, well.
Was calling out Dylan as a fraud.
Yeah.
And you kind of alluded to that last week. Like, wait a minute, is this a sarcasm on Dylan?
Trans wars.
Oh, I like that.
We've got, it's like the woke eating the woke. Now we've got the trans attacking the trans. You're not authentic enough. You're a phony trans.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, here's trans. By the way, it cuts off at the end, but I also want to discuss what Dylan says at the end of this video as well.
Okay. So I recently told my parents that I may be a little bit romantically interested in women. And that was a big shock for them, considering the past 10 years of coming out as gay, then queer, then non-binary, then trans. And I think it was just a bit of a shock. So I tell my dad, and he goes, well, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant. And I said, oh, no. She would be getting me.
She would be getting me pregnant.
So female gets another one.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Here's the $1 million question. But is he romantically attracted to females as a male? Or is he saying that he's romantically attracted to a female as a female?
I have no idea.
Are you really going down this rabbit hole?
I'm just trying to make people's heads explode.
Trapped.
Yes.
But think about what the dad just said, because the dad just wants grandkids.
Yep.
But this brings up a great point. And
Does
the great point. No,
okay.
Here is the great point about these surgeries.
You think dad's a drinker?
What if, let me pose this. What if well, probably now the poor dad is driven to drink. But seriously, what if a 13-year-old Dylan Mulvaney said, hey, I need a surgery because this person is a biological male who can still have kids. What if at 13 had all the apparatus removed, and now look at the journey that Dylan took to, what did he say, or she say, whatever, going through all the different transitions. What if Dylan at 40 decides, you know what, I'm going to get married to a woman and have kids and be a dad or a mom, whatever.
I'm confused.
I know. It is confusing, but okay, I'm sorry I went to...
No, it's not your fault. They're the ones who started all this.
But help me out here. My point is that these parents that have their kids do surgeries as young as like 13 to 17, I think should take stock in what the famous trans spokesperson is saying.
Well, Wayne Bonfiglio, our buddy on YouTube, says, does that make Dylan a trans lesbian? It's a good question.
Whatever happened to just being straight, gay, or lesbian?
Well, apparently Dylan has run the gamut of...
Well, yeah. I've actually got... I have Dylan's Wikipedia page up.
No, no.
So Dylan is 26.
26.
And is a graduate of the University of Cincinnati.
No.
And has been active as a comedian and actress.
Congratulations.
Actress. Since 2015.
Yeah.
And successful, probably was paid some pretty good coin by Bud Light.
Oh, yeah, sure. And it probably already has cashed in and capitalized on the 10 million followers that she has on TikTok.
Vice President Kamala Harris.
Moving on.
Speaking of our...
That's a nice pivot by you. You just totally moved on to the next topic. I like that. That's good work, Stalker.
Speaking of my brain hurting, delivered the West Point commencement address on Friday or Saturday, I don't know. She says that our military is the strongest when it fully reflects the people of America. You know what that means, don't you? Yeah, okay. Kamala Harris at West Point.
So to the class of 2023, and to all the cadets here today, you stand on the broad shoulders
unburdened
of generations of Americans who have worn the uniform, including many barrier breakers and trailblazers. In fact, this year you celebrate the 75th anniversary of the integration of women in the military, as well as the desegregation of our military.
All 10 people clapping.
She's like Jill waiting for applause.
These milestones are a reminder of a fundamental truth. Our military is strongest when it fully reflects the people of America. West Point, each and every day, America's service members demonstrate extraordinary skill, dedication, and discipline. They are willing to sacrifice everything to protect the lives and liberty of people they may never meet. And I believe there is no more noble work that a person can do than to serve our nation in uniform.
Thoughts?
She had to make it about identity, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our military has never been stronger now that we have men and women and minorities and trans community and activists and this. Here's what I want out of my military. I don't care what you identify as. I just want to know that you will whip the opposition's you know what. That's what I want out of my military.
Yeah.
Give me some trained, tactical, angry individual killing machines that, when the day comes where we battle against Russia or China or Mexico or North Korea, whatever it might be, that we've got some bad dudes there. That's what I care about.
Yeah, that's when our military is the strongest, is when we have killing machines.
Yeah. not people in the military posting to their social media feed that they're dressed up in leather bondage wearing gag balls. Remember that they were wearing the dog hats and oh God.
She also says that global security and global prosperity depend on the leadership of the United States of America.
Well, if it's based on this administration, we're all doomed.
Threat of terrorism persists, and an accelerating climate crisis continues to disrupt lives and livelihoods, all a threat to global stability and security. And here's how I see it. In the face of all these challenges, America plays a singular role of leadership. Cadets, global security and global prosperity depend on the leadership of the United States of America. And a strong America remains indispensable to the world. Our democratic ideals of freedom and liberty inspire billions. Our vibrant economy creates unmatched innovation and opportunity and drives global growth.
I got to say a couple of things here. Number one, have you noticed the pace of this speech?
Yeah.
The delivery, very deliberate, very methodical, very slow. We did not get any sort of personality or giggle out of Kamala.
That is true.
This was a very stoic, and I guess, you got to play to your crowd. She's there for cadets that are graduating from the academy and things like that. For an administration that's terrible at public speaking, even though I disagree with what she's saying, that relatively comes off pretty well. But it's not saying much about.
Well, I mean, it just shows you that she can do it when she has to.
Yeah. I mean, there was no giggles. There was no Venn diagrams. She was all business. That was serious Kamala there.
Serious Kamala.
Yes.
I like it.
Reading a word per every 3 seconds.
Yep.
That speech probably took her 2 hours to get through. The cadets probably fell asleep. Huh? Are we active members now of the military? She done?
Politics front here real fast. CNN reported on Friday that Governor Ron DeSantis raised $8.2 million in the first 24 hours after launching his campaign. Here's just a bit of that report.
Okay.
All right, in the presidential race for 2024, a campaign spokesperson for Ron DeSantis says the Florida governor has raised more than $8 million within the first 24 hours of launching his presidential bid. DeSantis threw his hat into the ring earlier this week on Twitter, but the campaign launch got off to a rather glitchy start after technical issues delayed his announcement. Joining us right now, Nancy Ankrum. She is the editorial page editor for the Miami Herald. Nancy, so great to see you. So these are early fundraising numbers, and I wanted to know, is $8 million a lot in the last 24 hours? And if you look at some of the recent reports involving some of his competition, Trump's fundraising of $4.1 million online within weeks of his announcement, according to an online donation processor, which is often used by the GOP. And then Nikki Haley, she has raised some $11 million over 6 weeks, according to her campaign. So is this pretty impressive for Ron DeSantis, $8 million in 24 hours?
Well, a couple of things. That number would have been much higher had they not had the technical difficulties. You have to remember that the first part of his Twitter announcement, which flamed out, there were 600,000 listeners. By the time they returned and had worked out the glitches, there were only 150,000. So I would say that the $8 million is impressive. We also have to remember that he has at least $110,000 stashed from his reelection campaign and from fundraising from earlier this year. So he is sitting on quite a large pot of campaign fuel.
I've got 110,000 stashed too. It's in my pillowcase back in Bluebell. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking about the glitching of the presentation that they tried on Twitter Spaces. It reminded me of like the early 2000s when you could play a video game online. I remember I would jump on and play a video game, and then my sister would come downstairs. She'd jump on the internet, and it would disrupt my connection to the video game, and it would get real glitchy. That's the way Ron DeSantis came off. Now, you can sit here and say $8.2 million is impressive. It might be. Doesn't mean you're going to win, though. I mean, Joe Biden raised more than Trump. And it doesn't mean you're going to be a good president either, because we know Trump would dance circles around Joe Biden. But, 8.2 million, okay. Well, let's see what it means moving forward.
I guess that was my question, is that do you think that it's a sign of, or do you think that there's a lot of big donors that are backing?
Well, Dawn has said for months on the show that, DeSantis has a pretty well-equipped treasure chest of funds that he's been sitting on. And Dawn, you've highlighted that.
Yes, and he's reportedly backed by the Bushes, among others.
Which is scary. I don't like that. Not going to lie. What you're saying?
So I want to get your reactions to this. There was a big hubbub online over the weekend about, the singer Jewel?
Yes.
Yeah.
She sang the national anthem at the Indianapolis 500. And she had it was a very Jewel version of the national anthem. Okay. But apparently people online were not happy with it.
What people online?
There were a lot of comments that said that it was disrespectful, basically, her version of the national anthem.
Mm.
So I want to play some for you and let me know if you think that this version of the national anthem is disrespectful.
Okay.
Performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in there, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I'm not the biggest music critic, but that doesn't seem to me like a great rendition. But I don't know what exactly is offensive about that.
There's absolutely nothing disrespectful about it. Like, I actually like the version of it.
Yeah. I didn't think it was great.
She did not. You didn't think it was great?
Yeah. It's
her. I'm a fan of hers.
Okay.
Before I get home, Larry, I did not rip up that picture of you and Jewel when you met her at Access Hollywood.
Oh.
He always accuses me. There was a picture.
Did you throw it in the fireplace?
No, I did not. The picture vanished.
Uh-huh.
He always says, did you rip up that? Why would I'm not that
right.
type?
Well, she's done what? Pop. She's done country. She's done like pop rock. She was married to a country singer. Now, she's from Utah. That I know.
She supposedly is conservative, and I actually think it had a lot of heart. I am a fan of her music. I don't think she meant to be disrespectful. What?
Bubba45 on YouTube says it sounded like Jewel singing the national anthem. Exactly.
Yes.
I don't know what was so disrespectful about it.
It doesn't come off great to me, but there was no alteration to it. There was no changing of,
she made it her own. I mean, her own style.
It was a little slow.
And it was a little pitchy.
Yeah. A little pitch. Listen to us. Excuse me. Can you take the pitch down a little bit?
I don't mean to sound like
three people who can't sing.
Bring that down an octave or two.
No, I mean, she has an amazing voice. It's one of the toughest songs to sing. But there were some points where, it just it's a tough song to sing.
Well, I mean, you have people that are bothered by it. You're at the Indy 500, so you're probably placating to a ton of patriots and conservatives. She's apparently a conservative. She's done country, and she's.
I don't know if she's a conservative. We don't. I doubt she's a conservative.
Okay.
Well, I think she's more on the conservative side of things.
Well, based on the way we led up to this with the reaction being negative, you would have thought they sent Britney Spears out to sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
Or Taylor Swift.
And she was twerking or something.
Yeah, she was twerking.
No, it was a very fine rendition of the national anthem. That's what I thought too, but I thought I was missing something. Okay. When I pulled this, I was like, what is everybody complaining about?
No, I just think
I have no complaints.
It's a song that is a traditional song. Mm-hmm. And maybe they felt she changed it up a little too much. And there were some moments, her raspy, I love the rasp in her voice, but there were some of those high notes, like there were dogs hiding under the bed. Let's just say it.
There's a little buddy boy under the bed.
When that, you get chill bumps every time you hear that song, right?
Of course.
Our national
you should.
anthem. Yeah. And so I just think people want the real thing. And if you are somebody who tweaks it a little bit, you better hit the note.
Right.
On Friday, New York City Mayor Eric Adams signed a bill that outlawed discrimination based on height and weight when it comes to employment, housing, and public accommodations.
Wait, what?
He outlawed discrimination based on height and weight when it comes to employment, housing, and public accommodations.
Yeah, Greg, you're no longer going to be able to discriminate against me as being 5'9" on the air because I'm 5'10", and I'm going to call Eric Adams.
So he doesn't mention any other issues like your ethnicity, your skin color, your religion. It's only about your weight,
your metrics,
or your height.
Yeah, if you're a big fatso, you can't be discriminated against for housing. Like, hey, I can't fit in this door. Well, then you have to move the door because you discriminate against me if I can't get my fat body through this door.
I can't get on the airplane and I need 2 seats.
So Eric Adams, when asked by a reporter about the law, he said that science has proven that being fat is not connected to being unhealthy.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, because fat people are flourishing.
Oh,
they
boy.
don't die from COVID. They don't have diabetes. Okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm a person that believes in health. So when you talk about not discriminating against someone because of their body type, is not fighting against obesity. It's just being fair. And so I think this is the right thing to do. We're going to continue to talk about our progressive health agenda. And science has shown that body type is not a connection to if you're healthy or unhealthy. And I think that's a misnomer that we are really dispelling.
So, like, I guess when I go for my annual checkup and the doctor says, you're 5'9.5", 190, you're considered by the old body mass index, you're 30 pounds overweight, Mr. K. I guess that's all fake science now? Is that all nonsense?
Yeah.
I love this. His progressive health policies.
Gmail on YouTube says, Dawn, there are already federal laws that prohibit discrimination versus race, creed, and color.
Well, and to the point,
now we just add
any discrimination. I mean, but I think I'm not a lawyer, but I think that discrimination is discrimination. So whether it's a person's height, it all goes under that umbrella.
Well, but who's not getting hired because of their height?
Or
I'm sorry, sir. We're looking for radio hosts that are at least 5'10". You don't fit the bill. What? Where's that come from? Now, actually, I'll lean on Dawn for this because Dawn, you are a female, a biological female.
Oh, no.
Who has worked
I'm a woman.
has worked in the media. I mean, let's face it. I think, especially in television, you have to fit a certain demographic or check off certain boxes to be. You could be the best teleprompter reader, or you could be the best, presenter. But I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. That some of these networks, they phase out people that get up there in years, right?
Yeah, years, or whether the way you look. So have you ever noticed that every co-anchor team, locally, nationally, looks like somebody's third or fourth marriage?
Yeah.
Right? The guy is allowed to be, to age gracefully or whatever you want to say. But the woman, no matter who she is, and Fox News, a lot of the women throughout the day part are in their 50s or more, 50s.
And they're all blonde.
Most of them are blonde, with a few notable exceptions.
Not
I know
in their
you
prime. Oh.
Right, Don Lemon.
Hey, pipe down, Don.
But seriously, yeah.
You
So
will respect
of course,
me. You will watch me.
So for the women, I mean, I don't even know all their ages. I could look them all up, but they're, they've been in the business many decades, but they all look like and you are told you want to look ideally like you're 35 as a woman. The men are not so much. And so there's a yin and yang to that, but sometimes you look at the one coming up, especially on the morning shows, and you go, uh-oh, they hired a new girl, a new quote unquote, 26-year-old. She's going to take so-and-so's job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a real thing.
Well, I always get told I have a face for radio. I feel like I'm being discriminated against. When's the last time you've turned on a newscast and seen a bald guy with a beard? I don't know of one.
Yeah.
Got to have that nicely coiffed hair.
Two Lululemon employees in Georgia are speaking out after they say they were fired for calling police on would-be robbers.
Say that again?
Two Lululemon employees in Georgia are speaking out after they say they were fired for calling police on would-be robbers. Jennifer Ferguson, a former assistant manager at a Metro Atlanta area Lululemon store, and one of her employees, Rachel Rogers, were fired by the retail chain after shocking video captured the duo yelling and chasing masked robbers out of their store before calling police, which they claim got them fired, according to a report from the New York Post.
Hey, if they're going to loot, let them loot. Do not try to do your job.
That is basically what they're saying.
Oh, my goodness.
They're saying that if people want to rob the store, let them, and don't try and call them out on it.
Oh, my God.
According to them. This is the NBC report.
Oh, seriously. Get out.
Two Georgia women say they were fired from their jobs at Lululemon after calling police to report this robbery, which one of them caught on camera.
No, you can.
And Jennifer Ferguson and Rachel Rogers describing to NBC affiliate 11 Alive Atlanta the horrifying moments the merchandise at the Peachtree Corner store was stolen. To do it. The women say they were fired from their jobs after they decided to call the police about the shoplifting, something they say they were told is against company policy. So what are they supposed to do instead?
You kind of clear a path for whatever they're going to do, and then after it's over, you scan a QR code.
Rogers, who says she's worked at the company for 5 years, claims that the store has been dealing with thefts for months, recalling another incident. But this was the first time she knows of someone at the store calling police, which local authorities confirm. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office says 3 men have been charged with theft by shoplifting and theft by receiving stolen property.
Now, there's a couple of things here. So, obviously, things have changed 20 years later here in 2023. But from 2003 to 2006, when I was at Temple, I worked part-time at Foot Locker. And we were told if anybody ever steals any athletic apparel or sneakers or anything from the retail store, let them go. Don't chase after them, because you don't know if they're carrying a weapon. We don't want you to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. It's not worth it. But never in my wildest dreams did I think that you'd get to a point where calling the police would be a fireable offense.
Yep.
We are letting the inmates run the asylum, and it's outrageous. And I don't want to hear about liability of these businesses. These big, you don't think Lululemon has insurance? You don't think that they could pay for any injuries sustained by their employee if they try to run down somebody that's committing a theft and that guy turns around and punches them in the face or whatever and they have to go to the hospital for stitches? I don't hear about liability. All these companies are insured. It's just outrageous that you would fire somebody for calling the police. By the way, what is a Lululemon?
Are you serious?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm guessing it's like a bougie high-end retail store.
No, they're
Lululemon
like yoga pants, right?
high. Well, for
more
men
yoga
and
pants.
for women.
Okay.
But they are really actually high quality workout gear.
They have any of those? They have stores around here, or is that a
Yes.
southern thing? I've never
around here.
Never seen one. Never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
We had this discussion about
Did we?
Lululemon being.
We talked about it.
Oh, okay. Lululemon, huh?
Lululemon.
All right. Lululemon says, "Don't call the popo."
But can you imagine they have a QR code? So they're like, well, when somebody comes in and steals this is the response that you're supposed to be giving.
Scan the QR code.
Scan the QR code.
Oh man.
Can you imagine?
It's unbelievable.
Here's the problem with that, and so living in the Chestnut Hill section, I can tell you there are stores like that. They have a policy that they don't prosecute shoplifters or thieves, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knows that. So the ultimate effect is we've lost stores because the company, especially when times are tough, they look at, wow, why are we losing so much in, the Chestnut Hill section of Philadelphia or wherever?
Yeah.
And so they ultimately then leave that municipality because of that stupid policy.
Yeah. And, most of these places, I remember when I worked at Foot Locker, they had like a shrink percentage. It's like a shrink means basically how much they'll basically tolerate losing apparel due to theft or whatever. And when you get audited on a semi-annual or annual basis, you have to be within that percentage. So now what do these retail companies do when they're getting looted and they're getting rioted at and they lose and they go well above that percentage? What do they just close up shop? I'm sorry. Target in the Bay Area, we got to close.
We've been
Whole Foods
we've
closed.
been looted too much.
We've been looted too much. Yeah, we got to close our store now.
We were hoping to make a profit this year, but everybody stole everything, so we didn't. Sorry.
It's unbelievable.
So bye-bye. We're pulling
Exactly,
out.
exactly.
And those of you who locally had a job here or you relied on this store, but nobody will talk about it. Nobody will be honest and say the quiet part out loud except with us.
Yeah. Dorenzo says he has Lululemon stuff. All right, makes sense. Dorenzo's a Lululemon shopper.
That's not right.
That's what he says.
Okay, full disclosure, we have a family member who's a guy who works at, and a couple years ago, wanted Lululemon.
Okay.
So we all made fun of him horribly until we realized it just is high quality
Wait,
gear.
jump on the mic here, Dorenzo. What do you
But
have?
it really is good stuff.
You have yoga pants or
Yeah, I wear yoga pants every weekend.
Do you really?
No, I don't have. It's like I have a crew neck sweatshirt from them, a pair of shorts
Yeah.
from them. They are overpriced, but if you get it on sale, it's like amazing quality.
I have Lululemon stuff. It is high quality.
Because you're a woman.
Right.
You're a woman, Dawn.
Yeah.
Dudes do not wear Lululemon stuff.
Dudes wear, yes,
Change-
they do.
And some dudes don't even know
Okay.
of Lululemon.
Change
That's
my
Mr.
mind.
Canned Water. Get out of here.
We'll do it live. Fair point. This black TikToker, yes, that's how she's described. That's not me saying this.
Okay.
She describes herself as a black TikToker.
Okay.
She says white women are one of the most dangerous cults in the U.S.
I agree.
Whiteness is a cult.
Yep.
Did you know that, Dawn? You're in a cult?
Yeah.
Whiteness is in a cult?
Yes.
Whiteness is a cult. This is a response.
Dawn, you suburban moms out there are like the biggest threat to national security.
Right.
This is a response to that video that went viral. It was like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys saw this. It happened in New York City. There was a white woman who was trying to take one of those city bikes. You know how you can rent those city bikes around the city? And there was a black gentleman on her city bike.
Okay.
And they got into an altercation. She said it was her bike, and then she started screaming at the guy.
Oh, jeez.
Just to like kind of refresh people's memories, or if they didn't see it, this is a little bit of the video of that altercation that happened last week.
Okay.
Record it.
This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Please help me.
It's not your bike.
Please help me.
It's not your bike. It's not your bike.
Please help me. Help. Please get off me.
Yo, don't take it, bro. Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
So she's trying to get on this bike.
Yes.
She's 6 months pregnant, by the way.
Her name's Karen.
Yeah. Well. Let's not. I don't want to jump to that conclusion first because her lawyer says that she had a receipt for the bike. Like this was her bike.
Okay.
And there was another gentleman on it, and she started this altercation because she just wanted the bike and he was filming her and not getting off the bike.
Help! You're not getting the bike. I'm not.
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
You're not
touch his phone. Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my head.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No, I don't know. No.
So it's more visual. If you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see the video. But it's two black men, and she's a younger white woman.
Now,
and
do we know who was filming that at the time with the video?
It was some guy, I guess, who was also there renting these city bikes. And she claims that, by the way, because of this video, she was put on administrative leave.
No, of course.
So
even though she has the receipt that it was hers, that she rented it, or
because apparently it looked to people like it was racist.
Oh, of course.
Even though being a younger woman, it doesn't matter the color. A young woman in that situation, 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, you heard her say something about my fetus.
And and there's some dude on a bike.
Yeah.
Won't get off. It's your bike. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're pregnant. Especially it looks like you're outnumbered there. It's her and at least two guys, if not a third, depending on who was filming that. Which I also love too. This new day and age with technology, and the benefits of technology are great. Security cameras, footage, to prove your innocence or to prove guilt of somebody. But like, what's the mindset to automatically start recording things? Have you noticed that how quickly, anytime there's human altercation, the automatic go-to for anybody in that setting
is to film. Yep.
We're now all like video journalists.
Yes. But again, we talk about this all the time. It's the race issue. If these were 2-3 white dudes, this would not be an issue.
Or if they were all black.
But the fact, or if they were all black, very good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If that was a black female, this would not be an issue. Of
course not.
It's the fact of it's 3 black kids, guys. They call them kids. They look like guys to me. 3 black guys and a white female.
Yep.
And the race issue is because she feels, and look, we're not her. We don't know what her situation is. By the way, somebody just pointed this out on YouTube. She's pregnant. Give her the freaking bike.
I know.
What are you doing?
Don't be a scumbag.
Yes.
Right? Now, it also goes to this, well, we got to be in that person's shoes to understand it. This actually goes back to the whole Penny Peely-Neely situation from the suburb with the chokehold. With they're going to be looking at that reasonableness test.
Yep.
Is it reasonable to assume that an average New Yorker in that situation would have done the same thing? So put yourself in the shoes of that female.
Yep.
If you're a female listening to the show this morning, you're 6 months pregnant, you rented the bike, you have the receipt to prove it's yours, you're outnumbered 3-1, somebody's filming you, and you yell. Is that wrong? I don't think so.
Well, let's ask the only female on the show.
Yes, well, let's ask Daniel.
How she
no, Dawn, go right ahead.
How she would have reacted to a situation like that.
If I were pregnant, I would walk away from the situation because I don't want to get hurt by these. You know what I mean? That's just it.
Yep.
If there's a confrontation, I'm just evacuating the area.
Yeah.
And calling 911 and saying that, I was ripped off or whatever. Let the police deal with it. Part of this is a little bit of a spectacle and a drama. And
yeah, look, she's making it, by screaming help. But
right.
I don't know what else you're supposed to do in that situation. Do you just
walk away?
Yeah.
You walk away and you can get your money back or get another, whatever's going on. But if I'm pregnant, especially if somebody shoved her to the ground, it could kill her baby, or it could, could greatly injure her.
She's at fault here because she's white. That's period. That's the point of the story. Because to the point that Greg's trying to make, if she was black or if the men were white, we wouldn't even be talking about
not
this.
Not even once would this be brought up, because it doesn't fit the poor white woman and big thug black guys.
Yeah.
But by the way, we don't know what the situation was here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So anyway, this is a long-winded way of me talking about this TikToker who claims that because of this, white women are one of the most dangerous groups in the United States. Yeah.
It's truly amazing to me how fast the narrative changes. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. White women are one of the most dangerous groups in the United States and abroad. At this point, we've pretty much all seen the video of the city bike incident between the black guy and the white woman. The black guy claimed that he bought the bike. The white woman claimed that she bought the bike. It was a tug-of-war match. But notice how white people were laying in wait for some little nugget of information that was going to absolve this white woman of taking accountability for the harm. That she
Would the nugget be the receipt that she bought it? I mean, you can claim it's yours, but unless you have the proof that it is, and apparently Greg, you have the story, she had the receipt that shows it's hers.
That's what her lawyer claimed.
But you know what? I'm actually going to take a different approach to this with my answer to this. You know what? Dawn, you defend the white woman. I'm tired of everybody blaming the straight white man for all the issues in this country. It's on you straight white women. You guys are the actual real culprits, not us men, right, Stalker?
Exactly.
But who is recording all of this?
Yeah,
somebody that wants to go do it to get exactly what we're talking about.
And I believe this woman was fired. Either that or put on administrative leave.
The pregnant woman?
The pregnant woman.
Oh, see, that's awful.
For this video. She was fired or put on administrative leave.
Of course. Yep.
Because it went viral. People claim racism.
Of course.
And that's the end.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think she was a nurse or something. A little bit more from this genius.
This is a cult, and they will always come to the defense of their cult members. This evidence that people are now getting on here to push to say that this white woman is innocent actually doesn't prove anything at all. But it does prove the lengths that some of y'all will go to protect white women.
Well, thank you, Johnny
It's wild
Cochran.
to me how people still see black people as one of the most violent groups, when actually the most violent among us has the inability to hold their community members accountable for the ways in which they harm other people. You know who you are.
Oh, my God.
Let me ask you something. What is has anybody ever posted a video on TikTok where they just talk normal? Like, can't you just speak the way you normally would, as if you weren't on camera?
Nope.
But anywho, so she's guilty of what here? She's guilty of being white and yelling help.
And pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
She didn't violate any rule. She didn't break any law. And if this guy has no right to claim that bike and she's got the receipt, then he would be in the wrong.
Yes.
But, identities matter.
It doesn't matter because the video shows what the video shows.
Yes, it shows conflict between a white person and a black person.
And that's all anybody cares about
Right.
is the fact that they are that they show what they show.
Which, by the way, on a separate note, have you ever used any of these public bikes or scooters in a city?
Never, or would I ever.
Good. I'm glad you said that, because when I moved to Nashville, the first thing I noticed in the downtown section, where they call it Broadway, where like those honky-tonk bars are that you see if you're a tourist, and you always see the ads for Nashville, they have these scooters that you can rent. I don't know if do they have scooters here in the city that you can rent?
Yes.
Okay. They need to get rid of those. Number one, they're an eyesore. Number two, it would prevent situations like this from occurring and going viral. And the other thing that's kind of really annoying about them, at least it was in Nashville, I don't see them enough as I'm leaving the city here to pick up on it because I'm focused on not hitting somebody riding a bike as I'm trying to make my turn. They're just, like, you can just randomly leave them anywhere. You can just drop off your scooter and lay it on the curb like a dude in Kensington that's high on trank. And I used to see it in Nashville all the time. I'm like, dude, they got to find a better approach to this.
Yep.
It's like littering.
Yeah.
You're just walking down the curb and there's like random scooters up against a fire hydrant. Ooh, I'm gonna hop on this scooter. Which, by the way, how do you even pay for them? Is there like you swipe your debit card when you get on one? Like, how do you even?
Yeah, I think it's kind of
because they're not free, right?
No. It's no, because that woman had a receipt for it, so she obviously paid for it.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know what they cost because I'll never go on them.
Dorenzo and Valdez are the kind of cats that I can see riding around like on Market Street on a little scooter down the sidewalk. Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
Is that it?
That's it, buddy.
Hey, 8:37, right on the dot. That was about 37 and 11, about a 48-minute cut sheet.
Yeah.
Nice work.
I bring it.
All right, there you go.
I do my homework.
Bring it. I need that as a drop, folks. 8:37. We can use that in a lot of different settings with Stalker. I bring it. All right, 8:37. Let's get to Dawn Stenzelin for the Big 3 at 8.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal Company.
And Big 3 at 8 this morning, we thank our sponsor, LifeVac. So, number one, Number one in Philadelphia of our big three today on this brisk, breezy day with a high of 76 degrees. We have Russia's Interior Ministry issuing an arrest warrant for a United States senator, that would be Lindsey Graham, following his comments related to the fighting in Ukraine. We've been talking this morning that there were these drone attacks on Moscow and the Russians saying that this is the work of Ukraine. Well, they edited together a bunch of statements by Senator Lindsey Graham, edited them together and put it together with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and then released it. And this was gaining a lot of reaction from the Russian people, outraged. And so on Twitter, Lindsey Graham had commented saying, "To know that my commitment to Ukraine has drawn the ire of Putin's regime brings me immense joy. I will continue to stand with and for Ukraine's freedom until every Russian soldier is expelled from Ukrainian territory." He tweeted this out, says it's a badge of honor, but now there's an arrest warrant out for U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. So that has drawn a lot of social media.
Bye-bye, LG.
Oh, my stars. There's an arrest warrant out for my arrest.
I'm going to a Russian penal colony.
Oh, come on. Come on. Did you have to go there?
It's a sin.
It's wrong. What is wrong with you? Come on.
Number two.
Can we elevate the level of decorum on this program, please? Please.
Yes, sir.
Sure. You want the ratings to go down? I'll do whatever you ask.
Number two in our big three, and this is an important one, as state police putting out new surveillance images of this guy who tried to kidnap a 7-year-old boy at a South Jersey Wawa. So this is making the rounds on social media. There's a lot of concern. This guy approaches this little boy, 7 years young, and mom is apparently in the bathroom. So this guy asks the boy to follow him, offers him some candy. But then on those surveillance images, you see the man. He grabs the boy and is trying to drag him out the door. The little boy, thank God, breaks away and runs back, and mom just comes out. Apparently, dad, I don't know if the dad was out getting gas or in another part of the store, comes around, tries to get the guy, but the suspect gets away. But he was captured on camera. He's described as an older white male, gray hair combed back, wearing blue jeans and a maroon or burgundy-colored T-shirt. So they're now releasing even more images of this guy. They want to catch this guy, because he grabbed the boy and he's trying to drag him out of this Wawa.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Number three, we've talked about COVID a lot. And did you know that COVID and the orders about COVID vaccination policies, well, in Philadelphia, I don't know if you realize this or not, we've just now relaxed all of our COVID vaccination policies for city workers now that the national emergencies have ended.
Thank God.
So now the city workers can get back to doing what they're supposed to do and living the life that they were meant to live. What do you any details as to what was still in place?
So the municipal employees, and this was we covered these lawsuits by firefighters, police officers, the sanitation workers. Remember this. There was a lot of pressure for everybody that you had to have and be fully up to date on all of your COVID vaccination requirements. So now Philadelphia officials have declared that with the ending of the, emergency, and that they're no longer in effect, there is still one group and that is nurses and doctors in the city of Philadelphia must be fully vaccinated. Still, and what I mean by that is the COVID vaccinations, which, as we know, are different from, your polio vaccination.
Right.
COVID, and that's the point of a lot of medical professionals have said, hey, this is not a vaccination. It's more like a yearly flu shot type thing. But that one's going on. So yes, that's in the city of Philadelphia. And there's another headline that captured my eye in the Philadelphia Inquirer. Well, the emergencies are over, but here's how you can still get free COVID services and get all the COVID info you need.
Yeah.
Quick question: all the people that were fired and everything, Will they get back pay? Will they be rehired?
No.
Just asking for
No.
a friend.
Yeah.
No, and this as we had police officers, remember?
That's,
and
what I mean, yeah.
And we have shortages. Nope.
Yep.
They're still fired.
So some of the services have ended, but if you want to continue the charade, here's how you do it. It's basically what they're telling you.
Well, we are sponsored in our big three by LifeVac. Choking is the fourth leading cause of accidental death. Protect your loved ones with LifeVac, made in America. This easy-to-use device safely clears airways. Order today at lifevac.net. Use code NEWS for 20% off. Thank you, LifeVac, for sponsoring our big three.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. So choking is the fourth leading cause of death. It's also the first leading cause of death for our sports teams in here in the city, but that's neither here nor there. So, sorry, just in a bad joke kind of mood this morning. Long weekend,
Yeah, I know.
A little too much sun.
You've been pent up.
Yeah.
All the.
Just had to unleash it all today, right?
Yeah,
This is like my 4 hours of therapy. All right, 855-839-1210. Coming up, we've got two big things that we have to get to. Target and our favorite rapper, Trump's nephew, in the news. Rose all the way to the top of the iTunes charts this past weekend with his latest hip-hop song, bashing Target. We'll hear from Trump's nephew and also how Facebook reacted to this video, in this music video. But on the other side, we got to get some more fallout from DeSantis and Twitter and just how good of a move it was for Ron DeSantis to actually go on Fox News after the debacle that was last Wednesday. The details on the other side. Stay there. But first, let me tell you about my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. As many of you know, I've had the privilege of test driving some awesome vehicles from the Piazza Auto Group over the last 3 months. I've gone from the Maserati to the Alfa Romeo to the Land Rover. But now the wife and the kids, they're going to be coming up here shortly, and the fun and games are over. Time to secure a vehicle, and I couldn't shake the urge to get a truck. I've been a big SUV guy, but now the truck is my official lease vehicle. So this past weekend, I leased a 2023 Honda Ridgeline truck that will be mine for the next 36 months from the Piazza Auto Group, specifically Piazza Honda in Springfield. And I couldn't be happier. The Ridgeline is going to be perfect for moving stuff around from Tennessee back to Pennsylvania, loading up the bed of the truck. It is gorgeous. More details on the specific truck at my Twitter right now, at Nick Kayal, Kayal. And I'll be telling you about all the specific accessories that this truck comes with in the coming days and weeks. But right now, 15 brands, 34 locations. You can find your new or certified pre-owned vehicle at piazzaautogroup.com.
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Teenagers were shot outside Subaru Park in Chester Sunday night. One remains in critical condition. Two separate Memorial Day shootings in Florida and South Carolina leave one dead and more than a dozen hurt. And the Sixers are hiring former Coach of the Year Nick Nurse as the team's next head coach.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more. Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Joel as Mr. Softy.
A creamy, streamy, soft ice cream. It comes from Mr. Softy. Melts in a big spot like me. They call me Mr. Softy. Almost run out of breath. Ice cream makes me tired.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, July 15th in Ocean City, New Jersey, and July 22nd in North Wildwood. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Every 5 days, a child dies from choking. In fact, choking is the fourth leading cause of accidental death. Protect your loved ones with LifeVac. Made in America, the original LifeVac has saved over 600 lives. This easy-to-use device creates a one-way suction to clear the obstruction in a choking emergency. Don't wait until it's too late. Order today at lifevac.net and use code NEWS for 20% off. That's lifevac.net, code NEWS for 20% off.
You know, the year's almost half over. You're still dealing with that horrible chronic joint pain in your knee or maybe your hip. Enough is enough. You know, pills are not the answer here, and you don't have to go through surgery and all that downtime. All you have to do is call QC Kinetics. Call them now. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can actually give you a life without chronic joint pain. And you can do all the stuff, all those summer activities that you used to enjoy again. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking these healing properties from your own body and then applying them directly into your achy joint so that your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment, it's truly revolutionary. It's breakthrough stuff, and it's right here in our region in Philadelphia. Patients across the country and right here are having life-changing results. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. So if you're suffering in pain in your knees or your back or your shoulders or your hips, you need to stop what you're doing. Call QC Kinetics now. Get that free consultation and learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine actually give you your life back. Call 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000, QC Kinetics. Just call them, 215-999-3000. It's a game changer for your life. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling our media PA to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
$8:50 Tuesday morning. It's Kayal Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick Hale, Dawn Stenzel, and Greg Stocker. This segment brought to you by Wawa. A Wawa smoothie is a deliciously smooth way to start the end of your day. Enjoy a delicious Wawa fruit or cream smoothie. With Wawa smoothies, transitions in your day couldn't be smoother. Gotta have a Wawa. One transition I can get behind. How about that? So a couple of things here. You know, the fallout from the Twitter Spaces with Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis. And then obviously, as we know, after they were able to iron out the kinks in the broadcast, DeSantis was able to do the whole bit, the whole show. They lost some viewers and listeners. They went from like 600,000 at one point to 150,000. And then after it, Ron DeSantis went on Fox News at 8 o'clock with the guy that's filling in right now last week, at least in that situation, for Tucker Carlson, and that was Trey Gowdy. But there's two stories that we got to touch on here, because one of the things that I did say following the debacle that was Twitter Spaces last Wednesday night, in the big take on Thursday, if you're Ron DeSantis, why didn't you just use Fox News? You could have, I mean, if Rupert Murdoch is all in on promoting your campaign, like the reports are that stem back from 2020, where Rupert Murdoch invited DeSantis out to California at his palatial estate and said, hey, if you're going to run in 2024, we're going to back you, we're going to be behind you. you could have used that as leverage to negotiate with Fox and say, hey, look, we're doing a blowout. I want, the whole network for me, 7 to 9 p.m., whatever it might be. Let's make this a big thing. So he goes to Twitter Spaces, and it's a disaster for the first 15 or 20 minutes. So the first story to get to here in the fallout of this is Twitter's engineering chief has now resigned the day after DeSantis and his campaign launched their campaign due to the glitches on Twitter Spaces. But a senior Twitter engineer resigned on Thursday following the glitches. His name is Fouad Dabiri, whose LinkedIn profile says he is Twitter's engineering lead for growth. Announced his resignation, but did not mention what prompted the move. In his resignation statement, Dabiri reflected on his time at Twitter, which he divided into two distinct eras, pre- and post-acquisition by billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk last year. Or as the way I like to look at it, as the woke era of Twitter and then the free speech era of Twitter. So this guy, if this story is accurate, is one of the top engineers. This would be the equivalent of us doing a Kayal Company remote on a live broadcast on the road somewhere from some business. The whole thing's an epic disaster from a technology standpoint. And then the Odyssey Philadelphia head of engineering resigns the next morning. That's basically what happened here with Twitter Spaces. And the other thing is the fallout from that Twitter Spaces to maybe the bounce back of DeSantis. We heard earlier he was able to raise $8.2 million in the first 24 hours. Well, him going on Fox News turned out to be a big win for Fox, which again goes back to my thought of you should have just done the announcement on Fox to begin with. But Fox News won in prime time. Now, this is interesting because it's a win from where they've been post Tucker Carlson, but it still falls well short of Tucker. So DeSantis is able to draw with Trey Gowdy 1.82 million total viewers. So he's just under 2 million. They're able to beat MSNBC. They crush CNN, as they always do. But on average, if you recall, Tucker was in the 3.1, 3.2 million range.
Yes.
So even DeSantis on there, you're not getting Tucker numbers.
On special nights where, he had a big guest or there was a big breaking story, like there's January 6 tapes, he easily got 4 million.
Yes.
So, yeah, and if you actually break it down more into the demo, I think the 2554 demo, I think there was like 800,000 or something like that. They're not, the headline is that Fox still beats Twitter Spaces as far as but it's still an incredibly low number.
It is. And the Twitter Spaces number, if you think about it, is incredibly low as well. One of the things that I mentioned on Wednesday morning for the launch of that Twitter Spaces that he was going to do that night after our show was think about the potential total reach. Remember I cited Elon Musk's Twitter followers? He's got 140 million, and you were quick to say, it doesn't mean 140 million people are going to see it.
No,
600,000 people saw it, right?
Exactly.
It's a fraction of his following.
Yeah, it's, you get the deceiving thing about Twitter too is that you get credit if you just kind of scroll through it and it plays for a minute.
In passing
or a second or something. So, is that really 600,000 captivating viewers?
No, probably not.
I doubt it.
The other thing that I thought was interesting too is think about this. So like Fox can say, oh, we had a good number or it beats Twitter Spaces. Trump on CNN's town hall had well over 3 million.
It's a very good point.
DeSantis in his home base, right? Like he's playing to the home crowd on Fox, only got 2/3 of that.
Yep. That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
It just goes to show you this guy doesn't move the needle like Trump does.
On another network that a lot of the Fox viewers don't watch still had bigger numbers with Trump on it than the conservative network with Ron DeSantis. That is a very good point. I never thought about it like that.
Once again, it just really reinforces it's impossible to top Trump.
But
you're not going to do it.
But again, people see headlines, and that headline from Mediaite, I think it was, is that Fox News beats Twitter Spaces with. But that's not really the headline.
No,
the headline is that Fox News has fallen a lot.
Yeah,
and even with a big name, with a big with a big story announcement like Ron DeSantis, they they can't even come close to where they were before.
That's correct. 855-839-1210 if you would like to jump in on the conversation. Coming up in the final hour, one GOP politician, one GOP candidate for the Republican primary gets locked out of his LinkedIn. We'll give you those stories on the other side. And speaking of the GOP, Trump's nephew is a Christian rapper who we played for you a handful of months ago on this show. He just released a new song that bashes Target and all these woke companies for going after children and trying to groom children. The song rose all the way up to the #1 spot on iTunes, but you only saw it on Twitter. That's because another social media giant flagged it as hate speech. We will give you that story on the other side and let you determine for yourself. Kayal Company as we continue final hour next on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Bring home a legend on Friday, June 9th when the Phils host the Dodgers at 7:05. And all fans 15 and over receive a Johnson Controls Dick Allen Bobble figurine. Order tickets now at Phillies.com. It's all gas, no brakes on Saturday, July 1st when the Phils host the Nats at 4:05, followed by a post-game concert featuring Diesel, a.k.a. Shaq. It's another fun Phillies post-game concert presented by Jim Beam. Order tickets now at Phillies.com.
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want a beautiful home that's easy to maintain? I've been telling you about a great company that does just that. John Gilgee is here to tell you in his own words. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield, reminding you that spring is here and Rhino Shield is ready to help you paint your home for the last time. Our permanent exterior house paint is not ordinary paint. It's a ceramic house coating that goes on like paint and looks like paint, but is guaranteed for 25 years. If your home's exterior isn't looking as good as you'd like, Rhino Shield is the solution you've been looking for. It's affordable because you only have to paint one last time, and it protects your home with a durable and waterproof coating that goes on any exterior surface. Find out why so many of your neighbors are choosing the permanent paint solution from Rhino Shield by calling to schedule your free estimate today at 844-RHINO-99. That's 844-744-6699.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Rich. Zioli, the hot summer and big electric bills that go with it are just around the corner. So this is your reminder that USA Installation's free labor offer ends on May 31st. You pay for the foam and they'll install it for free. USA has insulated over 100,000 homes. And if you're one of those previous customers, they have something special for you right now. USA wants to help your friends and neighbors get the same comfort and savings you have been enjoying. They love referrals and are going to reward you for helping them get the word out. For every new whole home installation customer that is referred by you, they will give you $500 as a thank you. 3 of your friends buy, that's $1,500. Just for telling your friends how they can save money on energy bills and keep their home more comfortable. And tell them now so they can take advantage of the free labor. If you're a new customer, referrals could pay for half of your installation. That all ends May 31st. So call them at 1-800-USA-FOAM, 1-800-USA-FOAM, or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
For
complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
If you haven't stepped foot in one of the Dogs and Cats Rule stores, what are you waiting for? Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule. We all know there's so many choices for pet parents to decide where to buy and what to buy. That's why the staff at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores are perfectly positioned to guide you on decisions about nutrition, homeopathic supplements, fashionable apparel, and of course, an overwhelming selection of toys, chews, and treats. So visit Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 neighborhood locations, or find us anytime online at dogsandcatsrule.pet.
We at Aqua believe water is essential. That's why Aqua Pennsylvania invests more than $300 million yearly to ensure the treatment and delivery of safe drinking water to your homes and businesses. It's also why we ensure wastewater is treated properly and returned to streams and fields cleaner than when we removed it. You can save money and help the environment by finding and fixing leaks in your home, which can reduce your water and wastewater bills. Aqua, an essential utility, making sure quality water is there when you need it.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Serious, think about it. Kayal Company, it's 9:03. It's a Tuesday morning. Welcome back in. Final hour. Final day of May, correct? Or is Thursday? No, Thursday would be June 1st, I believe. How about that? May's basically gone.
Yeah. Thursday's June 1st.
Weird.
Yeah, it's so weird.
We are on to June, baby.
Yeah.
The unofficial start to summer yesterday. It's going to feel like summer this week. It's going to be 90 degrees. Me and Opelka drinking bourbon on the golf course.
Oh, drinking bourbon at 90 degrees? What is wrong with you?
Hey, you got to stay hydrated, man. You know what I'm saying?
Bourbon is I don't know. Bourbon is like a winter thing, isn't it?
It is. You know, honestly, yes. I prefer that in the fall and winter months. I'll find something else, though.
Have a beer, have a margarita, have a fruity drink.
Always down for a margarita. Extra tequila, light on the margarita. All right, 855-839-1210. Free Odyssey app. You can watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. People can do their own show in the Kayal Company comment community on the chat section of YouTube. And we got a lot coming up here in the final hour of the show. Morning Mystery Movie Clip in 15 minutes, where today you're going to play for a 4-pack of tickets to see the Reading Phillies. So you get a little family baseball package coming up June 10th. If you're able to identify our movie clip, we've also got What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2, What's on Tap for the Dawn Show, and Who Won Twitter Today. But on Friday, before everybody kind of shut it down for the weekend and the holiday, going viral on social media was our favorite conservative hip-hop artist. He goes by the name of Trump's Nephew, and we played you his first song. This might have even been in 2022. It might have been before the new year kicked in on this show. And, you know, it was okay. And I saw this one, and this one's not great either. But the point of playing this...
But we'll play it anyway.
Yeah, but we're going to play it anyway, right? I mean, you know, it's like donations for taking control of the playlist on Kayal Company. But except Trump's nephew did not make any donations. But the point of this story is really about conservatives voicing their opinion on stories like Target, Bud Light, Kohl's, North Face, all of these corporations that are hell-bent on, you know, advertising to the LGBTQ plus community. So Trump's nephew did this parody song attacking Target for going after children. Now, the fallout from this is interesting because, as I said, it rose to #1 on the iTunes top music charts under the hip-hop category. But on another social media platform, it was flagged and removed. We'll give you those details in a moment, but we've got about 1:20 or so of this song, and let's take a listen. Here's Trump's nephew and targeting.
Yeah. Intentional shoppers. There's a cleanup on every aisle. Target is targeting your kids. Yeah, they targeting. Target. Yeah, they target kids. Target. Yeah, they targeting. Target. Yeah, they target. You know they targets that wrong. Trying to play with the kids. It's the mayor of Megaville. I'm preaching again. You know the LGBTQ done went too far. You know they cutting these kids. They leaving trannies with scars. Why they pushing the gender, promoting sexual genders? I'm only rocking with Bruce. Don't rock with no Caitlyn Jenner. You think that gay gon' get you paid? Yeah, we gon' see. It's Mar-a-Lago 2024. We trumpet, baby. They put a target on my back, but they targeting your kids. They don't even need to ask, cause you all know what it is. Yeah, that's why I keep it strapped, and I'm always about my biz. This agenda gotta stop. Yeah, you know we gonna win when they target. Yeah, they targeting. Target. Yeah, they target kids. Target.
All right, that's about it. There it is. There's Trump's nephew. Now, it's interesting. He's got a few other guys in this video that are singing, and they recorded this. It looks like, unless they just were creative with artificial intelligence, it looks like they actually filmed it in a Target. And they also filmed it in the parking lot of a Target and going up and down aisles in a Target. Now, I don't know how they pulled that off. Or if Target was on, I can't imagine Target was on board with that. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if Target releases a statement condemning this video. But the reason I want to play that is because on Facebook, now I saw that video on Twitter. Facebook shared it, or I should say individuals shared it on Facebook, and Facebook flagged it because it did not meet their standards of dangerous individuals and organizations. We don't allow symbols, praise, or support of dangerous individuals or organizations. This includes things like terrorist activity, organized hate or violence, mass or serial murder, human trafficking, or criminal or harmful activity. So Trump's nephew, who I think he's a white guy, but he's very urban. He's got the urban beard. He's got tattoos all over his face. And he's a big Trump supporter, which, let's face it, mainstream media doesn't like that. They don't like when anybody in the hip-hop game is a Trump supporter. And as I've said in the past, there's a lot of people, especially African-American hip-hop artists, that love Donald Trump. And they always have. They liked him when he was on The Apprentice, when he was just, in the business world, when he's been an entertainer. They've written hip-hop songs about him. I believe the rapper 50 Cent said the reason why I voted for Trump instead of Joe Biden was because I didn't want to go from 50 Cent to 30 Cent because he knows, with taxes, with Democrats, the whole bit. So Facebook views free speech as either terrorist activity, organized hate or violence, mass or serial murder, human trafficking, or criminal or harmful activity. Now, I ask this question. I don't care if you like that song or not. It's not the point of playing it. What exactly was offensive or anything that's Facebook just labeled that I read for you? This is merely a guy writing a song about Target and their ridiculous approach to advertising to a small niche community. And, oh, by the way, like this ridiculous stuff with tucks and tucking for toddler boys that wear diapers, like Dawn said a few hours ago. Like, what are we doing here? So this gets flagged as dangerous material, which is, again, why I think we should all really appreciate what Elon Musk has done with Twitter, because this did not get flagged on Twitter, nor should it be flagged on Twitter, because I've heard plenty of songs in my lifetime that are far more brash than what Trump's nephew sung that we just played for you, that song there, courtesy of Twitter. So that's number one on the social media censorship. Number two, our boy Vivek Ramaswamy, my buddy. He's always on Fox News. He's a future TV host once he gets less than 1% of the vote and he realizes being a president is not meant to be. But LinkedIn locked him out of his personal LinkedIn page. Now, I use LinkedIn merely to connect with other Odyssey employees. I don't think I've ever actually posted anything, not a link, not an opinion, not a thought on LinkedIn. To me, it is merely a networking resume. It's like a networking version of your personal Wikipedia page. So Vivek Ramaswamy got locked out of it because he posted 3 opinions and videos that LinkedIn did not agree with when it comes to his political stances. Number 1, LinkedIn cited 3 posts and videos that Ramaswamy posted. In one, he argues that if adherents to climate religion really cared about the climate, they'd be worried about, say, shifting oil production from the United States to places like Russia or China. That was his first post. LinkedIn flagged that and locked him out of his account. Number 2, in another post, he says fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. That got him in trouble. And then number 3, he says China played the U.S. like a mandolin and weaponized the woke pandemic. That got him flagged by LinkedIn. And they sent him an email basically saying, these are the 3 posts that violate our policies. You, sir, are locked out of your account. Now, you can disagree with anything Vivek Ramaswamy said there. No matter what your opinion is on energy, climate, fossil fuels, the pandemic, the whole bit, China. But at what point are we going to get to where we stop? And keep in mind, this is a guy who's running for president of the United States. Even in the post-suspension of Trump on Facebook, because as you recall, Facebook and Twitter have reinstated Donald Trump. Now, he hasn't used them, but Facebook has even warned their own employees. This is from Mark Zuckerberg saying, moving forward with Trump as a candidate, you cannot flag his posts for misinformation or disinformation or suspend his account because they view it differently when you are a political candidate running for office. So now we've got the LinkedIn world. We've got Facebook once again censoring speech. And it just makes you think that the only place you can truly, and I know there's Rumble and I know there's Truth, but those are much smaller platforms because they're not consumed as widely as Twitter is. Point being, if from a mainstream standpoint to reach the masses, and I'm not just talking about reaching your base, Twitter's the only place that you can still do it. Facebook is flagging stuff. LinkedIn is locking out a presidential candidate from his LinkedIn page. And the reason I bring this up as well, I was chatting with my sister and her brother-in-law yesterday, and Trump's got about 5.9 million followers on Truth. After his account got reinstated on Twitter, the last I checked, he was back up to 88 million followers. So, there's a lot of people that listen to this show and this station have said to us in regards to our YouTube channel, when are you going to stream live on Rumble? When are you going to do stuff with, Truth and things like that? The reality is most people still use Twitter and YouTube. I know it's not, YouTube's certainly not the most friendly when it comes to conservatives. I get that, but Twitter is. But this is I think a misstep for Trump. And when his deal with Truth is up, because right now, I believe the rule is if he posts on Truth, he has to wait 6 hours to post the same thing on Twitter if he decided to go back and utilize Twitter. Now, maybe everybody does have their opinion made up on Trump and it's a wasted exercise, but I'd like to see Trump get back to Twitter because he's missing out on a sizable portion of people that follow his content. On Rumble and Truth, he's hitting 6 million. On Twitter, he could hit 87 million. I think you got to take advantage of that. But it's just, again, the whole thing being these big tech giants, their agenda to shut down conservatives is just never going to stop. If you're Ramaswamy, I'd be on Fox News today ranting and raving.
I never thought of LinkedIn as some place where
I didn't know you really post opinions.
You get flagged for. No. Every time I've ever seen any content on LinkedIn, it's usually somebody advertising their business or whatever.
Yeah. The only time I've ever seen somebody actually share anything that I've actually paid attention to is when some of the higher ups here in the suits retweet or not retweet because it's LinkedIn, but they recirculate, links to, how radio can reach different businesses and Odyssey's branding and things like that. I didn't know LinkedIn was really a place where you go to share your views on stuff.
Yeah, it's a good place to network and get info about businesses. But I didn't know that they flag stuff for being not truthful.
We're gonna have to do a Who Won LinkedIn Today coming up at 9:55.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to add that to the show sheet moving forward. There's too many platforms these days, so just wanted to share a couple of those stories with you. A couple of other things that we'll get to after we get to our morning mystery movie clip. There's a couple of things where we are seeing now Black Lives Matter, the movement, the organization being outed for the frauds that they are, which I predicted on this show months ago when it comes to the funds and who was donating to them and where the money was going. We'll give you those details. Also, along the lines of race, we heard last week the NAACP coming out and saying how essentially Florida is a terrorist state and small business owners should not move to Florida. Well, one black small business owner is saying that's complete nonsense. So we'll get to all of that before we get out of here this morning. But 9:19, it's a Tuesday morning. Let's get to the morning mystery movie clip.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Holiday for Columbus? He makes the wrong turn and wipes out an entire indigenous people. And you know what he was looking for?
I bet you're gonna tell me.
Gold. Supposedly for Queen Isabella, but don't think that the Medicis back in Italy didn't want a part of that action. And what did Italy need gold for? For the long-distance slave trade based in Venice. Venice. That's where this brings.
You were saying something? No, you were really on a roll there. Don't stop. I'm interested.
Think you know what it is? Be caller 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
Yes, that movie came out 20 years ago today. Caller 12 at 855-839-1210. If you can identify that movie clip we just played for you, you're going to get a 4-pack of tickets to see the Reading Phillies take on the Binghamton Rumble Ponies on Saturday, June 10th at First Energy Stadium in Reading, Pennsylvania. 4-pack of Reading Phil's tickets on the line if you can identify that movie clip. 855-839-1210. Caller 12 with the correct answer. Going to go see a little baseball, courtesy of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
8 teenagers were shot outside Subaru Park in Chester Sunday night. One remains in critical condition. 2 separate Memorial Day shootings in Florida and South Carolina leave 1 dead and more than a dozen hurt. And the Sixers are hiring former Coach of the Year Nick Nurse as the team's next head coach.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Lexus of Cherry Hill, a 5-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for customer service. The 2023 Lexus models are here and moving fast, and the 2023 Lexus RZ 450e all electric has arrived. Tony LaBelle and his team are your source for the Lexus of your dreams. Over 200 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. You deserve this Lexus, and you deserve award-winning customer service. Start your journey with family-owned and operated Lexus of Cherry Hill.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Phillies baseball is in full swing.
It's a 3-run home run for Alec Bohm and a 6 RBI night.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
The ball bobbled. The Phillies win. Bryson Stott has won it.
Phillies baseball. Phillies announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
King Shooter Supply, a full-service gun store, licensed FFL, buy, sell, trade, all sorts of accessories, and indoor range and training center is open in King of Prussia with lessons and classes for all shooters, such as parent and child gun safety and range time, weekly cleaning classes, and pistol red dot. Check out all the offerings. Membership options include law enforcement, military, first responder, and seniors. Stop in to see King Shooter Supply, 346 East Church Road in King of Prussia, or find them on Facebook, kingshooters.com. Now open Sundays too, noon till 6.
The cooling experts at Horizon Services Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing made over 20,000 air conditioner repairs last year, and 60% could have been avoided with a Horizon Clean and Inspect tune-up. Prepare for the heat ahead and identify any issues before they lead to larger problems, avoiding costly repairs and lowering cooling bills. Plus, every tune-up is backed by Horizon's industry-leading no-breakdown guarantee. Book at horizoneasybook.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
For all of you who love to cook Italian, here's a mouth-watering message from Cento.
Baked lasagna, manicotti, clam sauce with linguine, chicken parmigiana, and tuna capellini, gnocchi alla rosa sauce, pomodoro frittata, pappardelle, perciatelli, pasta caponata.
How do you give those dishes authentic old world flavor? Authentic Italian cooking begins with Cento. Cento for taste that sings. Cento. Trust your family with our family.
Hi, this is Norman the Floorman. My wife accused me of being immature. I told her, get out of my fort. No kidding, folks. If you're responsible for buying carpet for your company or organization, you need to call me now. I stock the largest selection of commercial carpet in the Delaware Valley. Norman Carpet Warehouse offers installation, and yes, we can install within 48 hours. Call 800-220-RUGS. Call Norman the Floorman to save 50% off our competitor's best price. Now that's not chopped liver.
Rich Cioli this afternoon, 3 till 7. Kayal Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Kayal Company as we roll on Tuesday morning. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. You can stream us on the free Odyssey app, watch the show live on YouTube, subscribe, like us on YouTube, because then you'll be notified when we go live. Which, by the way, this morning, when we went live right at 6:01, before even the video feed was streaming us and you could see the three of us, we already had 50 people just waiting
awesome
to come into the show.
I know. I love it.
It's like people lining up for the Swifties.
Yep.
How about that?
Where else can you get 50 people lined up ready for a show to start? Swifty.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. It's great.
Damn right. Dawn show coming up at 10. We'll find out what's on tap in about 20 minutes for that. Who won Twitter today and what's on the cut sheet part due. But who's got the 4-pack, the family 4-pack to the Reading Phillies Saturday, June 10th? Well, I believe that will be Alan in Westchester who is with us. Alan, what was the movie clip we just played for you about 5 minutes ago?
That would be The Italian Job,
Yeah,
my
buddy.
number 2 movie with Mark Wahlberg after Invincible.
Well, all right. A little Vince Papale, number 1, and The Italian Job, too. Nice work out of you, Alan. Enjoy the baseball game and take advantage of that 4-pack.
Thanks.
You got it.
Yeah,
Alan in Westchester.
Old Man Dudley on YouTube says the remake of The Italian Job. I didn't realize it was a remake.
Yeah, I think the first one was. I'm going to date myself.
Oh
here,
no, don't. Every time
I want to say 72, but
Okay.
it's probably wrong.
Let me see.
But it is a remake. That much I know.
Okay, Italian Job.
Which, by the way, Mark Wahlberg.
Original. 1969.
69. I was close. 3 years off. I'm hit or miss on Wahlberg.
Michael Caine.
Yes.
Was in it. Very nice.
Benny
Hill.
Okay. Are you a Wahlberg fan? Which, by the way,
Yes.
you are. Okay. Is there a certain movie you like the most with Mark Wahlberg?
Fear.
I like most of his movies. Every movie I see.
See, I like the old school Wahlberg.
Every movie you see of him,
Yeah,
you've
I love
you've liked.
Mark Wahl-
Okay,
I'm a
all
huge fan.
I'm gonna throw a challenge flag on that. I'm gonna pull up some horrible Mark Wahlberg
I
movies, and
I
you're
like
gonna defend
Fear.
yourself.
Fear was 1996 with Reese Witherspoon.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Ted.
Don't like that. That's with the bear, right?
Yeah.
Don't like that. I liked him in Four Brothers with Andre 3000 and a couple other guys about the Detroit gangs. He was good in Shooter. By the way, Shooter's on all the time. Like, Shooter's one of those movies that gets recirculated on TNT for 7 straight months.
Yeah.
You can almost catch Shooter on anytime you want. Which some of that was filmed in Philadelphia, by the way, because he was swimming across the Delaware River after they tried to set him up for the attempted assassination of that president from that country that was here. And so,
how about Rockstar Dawn 2001 with Jennifer Aniston?
I never saw that.
No, neither have I.
Date Night with Steve Carell and
Never saw it.
Tina Fey.
Nope.
Father Stew was more recent in 2022.
Okay.
Was a tearjerker based on a true story. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito.
Oh,
come on.
Have you seen Danny DeVito in the Jersey Mike's commercials?
No.
Where he's laughing hysterically as they pour the oil and vinegar on the sub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Don's credit, he does have more good movies than he has bad.
Oh, I'm not disputing his success.
Oh, he was in the Basketball Diaries. I love that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, it does nothing for me.
Okay.
Nope. No. All right. That's enough Marky Mark. By the way, they've got the Wahlburger burgers out there. You can get those in the grocery store.
Yeah.
I get those.
They're not bad, right, Don?
They're delicious.
Yeah, they are good. A little pricey, but
I just love his story, a story of redemption. Obviously went to prison and was Marky Mark and is a devout Christian, devout Catholic.
Yeah.
My boys wrote their, famous Catholics that he was one of the people they wrote about.
Okay.
Research paper. But he's
a good redemption story.
He is a good redemption story and somebody who, he credits the fact that the people who visited him and shared the Bible with him, saved his life and changed around his life. Now he's a husband, a father, and just somebody who lives and he's very fit, works out.
Oh, yeah.
But lives a faith-based life. And I think that's rare in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's carved out of stone. He's probably on the sauce, but I can't confirm that.
What?
He's got muscles in places I don't have places.
What? In places you don't have places.
Yeah,
what are you missing?
I think he has a lot of things. It's too long of a list to get into. But a lot of these Hollywood guys, like Stallone. Stallone was on steroids for a lot of his movies.
Don likes anybody who's Christian.
No, not just that. I mean, whatever his faith, it's just a great American redemption story. He was a teenager who went off the rails, killed somebody. I believe it was involuntary manslaughter or something. But
I did not
went
know that.
to jail. Yeah, it's his life story is unbelievable. He was in a boy band. I mean, he was famous and had that quick fame.
He wasn't in a boy band. He was
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
Yeah, that wasn't really a boy band. That was,
there was a couple of people in with him, right?
His brother Danny was in.
Yeah.
New Kids on the Block. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Wasn't Entourage based on his story?
Yes.
Yeah. His brother's Donnie, by the way.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I thought you said
who's Turtle?
I thought you said Danny.
Oh, maybe I did.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Whatever.
Yeah, he was New Kids on the Block. My wife's a big New Kids on the Block fan.
The less talented Wahlberg.
Exactly.
Donnie Wahlberg. What's he in Blue Bloods now? I think he is.
I wonder what it's like being the less, because in Philadelphia sports, we always get the lesser of the two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Though we always get the least talented one. What's it like being Donnie Wahlberg or Jim Belushi or just the less talented, less funny, less acclaimed brother?
Yep.
I guess if you're Jim Belushi, you're I outlived John. He died. Same thing with Farley. Chris Farley's got a brother.
He does?
Yeah. And Chris Farley passed away tragically in 1997. So.
Mark Wahlberg was charged with attempted murder.
It was attempted murder.
Pleaded guilty to felony assault. He only served 45 days.
Oh, so he what? Some Soros DA let him out too, huh?
Not like some hardened criminal or something.
They were defunding the police back then. No cash bail.
To the point of accountability, it was attempted murder charge. He was a kid, wasn't he? A teenager at the time.
Yeah.
And so they said, no, you're going to jail. And he was, in fact, he was sentenced to 2 years. But you think about the difference of young people who do something or accused of something are in the swirl of a life that is leading them down to a path of destruction in their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
Think about D.A. Krasner. Think about Philadelphia, what's happening here. How many times do we talk about some 18-year-old or 20-year-old who has a rap sheet and they've just been let go?
Yep.
And if only there was that intervention.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. 855-839-1210, the phone number.
Robert Schwartz on YouTube says Jim Belushi runs a weed farm now. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a weed farm.
Legal weed.
Yeah, of course.
I always tell my friends that don't know my brother-in-laws, and they ask me about them. I'm like, yeah, they're like the Belushis. My younger brother-in-law is the fat, funny one that will die tragically too young, and my older brother-in-law, his brother, is like Jim Belushi. He's the skinnier, older, less funny one that will survive and stick around forever.
Yeah,
and that's what Jim Belushi has done. I don't find him remotely interesting. All right, so a couple of things we called this months ago when it comes to BLM. I said that BLM is a complete fraud. I think the people that paid up money and got duped by this organization were white liberals, wealthy, elite, privileged white progressives living with some sort of white guilt, and they got fleeced. And, of course, it comes true. Courtesy of the New York Post yesterday, only 33% of BLM's $90 million in donations actually went towards the charitable foundation.
Shocking.
So once again, if you think about the fraud that was committed in this country from 2020 to 2023, and I'm talking not only on BLM's front, but on COVID funds, we can't find billions upon billions of dollars that went to COVID relief and to people that apparently needed X, Y, and Z. Well, here's the specifics on BLM. So Black Lives Matter's national organization doled out just over $30 million, or 33% of the nearly $90 million that it received in public donations from 2020 to 2022, according to public filings. BLM Global Network Foundation, an Oakland, California-based nonprofit, gave away the $30,498,722 in grants to Black, trans, and anti-police nonprofits in the fiscal years for 2020 and 2021. That according to two federal filings, which cover the periods from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2022. So almost about a year ago. That total includes the $4.5 million that the group doled out last year to nonprofits run by the movement's own supporters and friends. And even as BLM GNF registered losses of more than $8.5 million last year, its latest public filings for the fiscal year of 2021 show. The group also gave out a grant to one of its former harsh critics, paying out $400,000 to the Tamir Rice Foundation. Amongst those taken care of BLM GNF is and they go through this long breakdown of all these organizations, all these people, all these collaborations, $140,000 here, $114,000 there, and then on to other people as to what they actually purchased, ranging from 3-bedroom houses in the LA suburbs that run for $637,000 a pop to other companies, including Black Ties Security LLC, which was the contractor that they hired. They earned $756,000. So, you think about it. You go back to the conversation we were having this morning about Kensington and the Trank and these people that are in need. So, this goes to show you once again how, on the surface, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that sounds like a great initiative. Cool, sign me up. What can I do? How do I contribute? What can I donate? And then you realize that you have a bunch of people that used the George Floyd death, the riots, the protests that came from that, and you take the whole BLM concept and you start asking for all of these donations, and then you get a bunch of people like my mother-in-law, oh, yeah, sure, $100, who do I write the check to? And then you scam people out of their money, and you can't account for the other 67%. So you get $90 million. Only 30 of it goes to what you claim your movement is about. Where's the other 60 million? What'd you do with it? Tax records show only 33% went to the charitable foundations. Been saying it for months. Total scam.
The one good thing I will say about all of this is that the majority of the money that was raised was probably raised by rich white liberals who live in a gated community or a gated house that feel guilty. So they want to give back to the black people, and I'm putting that in quotation. So the majority of them are the ones who got scammed out of this money. So
I still occasionally see a sign in yards when I'm driving around in Montgomery County.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because if you ask a lot of black people, their response is, that's a scam. That's a scam organization.
Oh yeah.
It's just the white liberals who drive Teslas and have "hate has no home here" signs are the ones that
they also have a Ukraine flag in their bio.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which is funny. There's a few houses in as I leave technically Bluebell and I go into they call it Whitpain Township.
Sure.
There's this one yard where this guy's got the BLM sign up. He's got a Ukraine flag hanging from his front porch. And I just would be willing to bet when he leaves his house, he's wearing a mask. Guaranteed. There's just some dead giveaways, right?
Yeah.
Like the TikTokers going through their breakdowns. What do I always say? Purple hair and a nose ring?
Yep.
Usually they have one of those too. Yep. So there's that. And then lastly, before we get to the cut sheet, we gave you that story last week about the NAACP issuing a travel advisory, not for hurricanes or tornadoes or, any type of natural disaster that could, disrupt your life in Florida. No, they issued a travel advisory to black people saying, stay away from the white people. The white people are crazy and they're going to harm you. Well, a small black business owner has fired back at the NAACP and accused them of basically pandering for political reasons. Mike Hill is the owner of an independent insurance and financial services agency in Pensacola, Florida. Mike Hill is a black man, and he says, I would tell black people who have seen this advisory to not come to Florida to simply ignore it. I believe that they see the amount of tens of millions of dollars that Black Lives Matter has been able to raise from the leftist agenda. So they, the NAACP, want to be a part of that gravy train. I believe it's nothing more than a publicity stunt for political posturing. It's an attempt to fundraise more than anything else. That is and remember last week on the show, I told you per capita, there are more black small business owners in Florida than white small business owners. And Mike Hill is now one of these guys who's coming out and saying, yeah, NAACP, totally full of crap, and they're just basically posturing and pandering. So we nailed that one as well.
By the way, ipso facto on YouTube says, Nick, you got to know your new neighborhood. Bluebell is in Whitpain Township.
Part of it is. Part of it's Plymouth Township. Oh, wow. So stay in your lane, brah. All right? Don't tell me about my neighborhood.
Okay.
All right? These guys, these fact checkers. By the way, I got ripped for a Memorial Day tweet yesterday.
Oh, no.
Speaking of fact checkers, yes. Can I share this real quick before we get to the cut sheet?
Absolutely. It's your show.
I didn't want to snipe back at him because it's Memorial Day. I don't feel like arguing with people that want to be, Brian Stelter light on social media. So I tweeted this yesterday, and let me just pull it up here. Okay, here we go. So,
you got to be careful with the Memorial Day tweets, man. I'm telling you.
I said
that's why I tweet nothing.
This is the most innocent tweet of all time. Happy Memorial Day to all. Give thanks to those who have served. We live in the greatest nation, despite the left's attempt to destroy it. And I get a response from Annie, and she says, you are confusing Veterans Day with Memorial Day. What in my tweet would imply Veterans Day versus Memorial Day?
What did you say again?
I said, Happy Memorial Day to all. Give thanks to those who have served.
Yeah, because Memorial Day
for those who have died
is not a celebration because it's a commemoration for specifically
the
memory of those who died. right? Veterans Day. Even though I think a lot of people in society take Memorial Day as a moment to thank law enforcement and all of that, but I think Memorial Day is considered just those who've died.
Okay.
I think that's what
Thanks to Annie.
Well, let me just tell you both. This is why I tell you both to stay off social media and stay off Twitter, because nothing good comes out of it.
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
Nothing good
I'm no
comes out of
longer
it.
going to
Nothing.
say enjoy the day to people.
Yeah, nothing
because
good comes out of it.
people always have to nitpick.
Nitpicking is just it's just you're always going to say the wrong thing.
Of course.
Somebody's going to be like, "What do you mean?"
True. I think that's not
Unless
true.
you post sunsets,
Yeah,
like Dawn Stensland did.
She made it sound like I confused Christmas with Halloween. My God.
What are you talking about? Sunsets?
No, you posted a picture of a sunrise.
It was beautiful down at the shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bluebell is in Whitpain Township.
So there's no parts of Bluebell that go into
Don't
Plymouth?
think so.
Uh-oh.
I don't think so. But
I'm
here's
confused.
here's
Now
what
Dawn's
happens though.
fact-checking you.
I'm just going to tell you this.
Yeah.
Bluebell, because it's a more prestigious area,
Yeah.
right?
It is a little
so a lot
bougie.
of places will say, even a lot of places will claim to be in Plymouth Township as well. So they will claim to be that address. Do you ever go into somebody's house and they go, "We live in Bluebell"?
Oh yeah.
And then actually, when you try to go to, you put in their address to go there, and Google Maps tells you, now they're not in so and so. So
Well,
I
it's
think
a
that
weird
happens.
little area because you go from Plymouth Meeting to Plymouth Township to Bluebell, and then I see Whitpain Township, and then I see like these other little what do they call them? Not boroughs, but there's another name. There's one if you go down Skipback Pike, all of a sudden you're in I don't know. It's like I forget what they call it. It's not a town. It's not a borough. There's another name for it, but anyway,
municipality.
Yeah.
Soggy Donuts on YouTube says Memorial Day should be a somber day. Veterans Day and 4th of July should be celebratory.
I'm deleting my Twitter. How about that?
Thank you.
I'm gonna
It's
end my account.
It's the best thing you've said all day.
I'm deleting the whole thing.
I appreciate that.
You blame it on Annie. She ruined it
I
for
don't
everybody.
know. To Annie's defense, I don't know if
I
she
think
was
she's
yelling
trying,
at you.
Yeah,
She was
she's just
trying
trying to be
help you.
helpful.
Yeah.
But as one mom said to me, when you lose your son in war, every day is Memorial Day. You know, and that's the honest to God's truth. It's not just one day.
Well, I mean, you started out, Nick, by saying this. It should be a month long.
Yes.
Commemoration of, we should lump Veterans Day, Memorial Day, all of that stuff into one month and just be, it be that month instead of days, so people can get confused.
There you go. Yeah,
well,
they
blame
can tweet me.
Congress.
Yeah.
They wanted a
blame
3-day. They made it a Monday so that they could make it a long weekend, which they all got.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, don't they usually get like weeks? Like
I know, right?
We get a day, and they
Day
get
here and
okay.
there,
We'll be back June 6th or whatever.
Well said.
All right, 9:45. Greg Stocker, what's on the cut sheet part 2?
What's on the cut sheet?
Part 2. What's on the cut sheet part 2? Sponsored today by Best Work Industries for the Blind. Best Work Industries for the Blind. It's changing lives. A nonprofit organization located in Cherry Hill. Best Work Industries for the Blind provides training and employment for people who are blind or visually impaired. For employment opportunities or to donate, go to bestworkindustries.org. Bestworkindustries.org. Check them out today. Actually, I'm going to throw a curveball here because of what you guys were just talking about. This I took from Fox 13. This is a 100-year-old vet breaking down tears after what he says America has become.
I don't know. I've lived a good life. I mean, I've had a lot of happiness, smiling, telling everybody that everything was beautiful every day. If I went into my church and didn't say everything was beautiful, they'd think I was sick. And I'm not that way. I mean, I sincerely believe in this old world that everything is beautiful. I mean, if I wake up in the morning and see these plants out here and all those flowers that are in there and the green grass on the ground, that's beautiful. And people don't realize what they have. They bitch about it. And then nowadays, I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it. It's all going down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. It's just not it. Darling, I'm so sorry. I'll be all right. Just take.
The guy is in his uniform there. So
100 years old.
Yep.
True American hero. Not really wrong in anything he said. And I like the point that he made about, you wake up and you look outside and you see the green plant or you see the green grass. And I think the old adage of any day above ground is a good day. That's well said by that guy. I love the fact that he said that the younger people today just bitching about things. He's spot on with that too.
Exactly.
Like somebody's always coming, like to the point of the tweet from Memorial Day. Somebody had to find an issue with me saying something about Memorial Day because it didn't fit their definition to a T. Stop your complaining.
They're not complaining. That it's a big deal to people in the veteran community. I'm just saying.
It's just all these Twitter fact
One of
checkers.
those things.
Get
I
off
think
your
she was
horse.
trying to be helpful. I really do.
I didn't know where you
Tired of all
I
of
agree
them.
with you most of the time, but on this one, I think they're trying to be helpful.
One day somebody's going to catch me in the bad mood, and they're going to get angry Nick on
I think
Twitter.
that because you went to help a veteran, an elderly veteran,
yes,
in his yard and met with veterans groups.
She's trying to help you.
I think Ann was trying to be helpful. I do.
Yeah, it's not so much Ann. It's just everybody in general.
Yeah, it's not Ann.
I'm done with all of them.
Dawn is trying to help you.
Where's the trust? Where's she at?
For the first time in program history, the Fighting Irish are national champions, Nick
Yeah,
Kale.
buddy.
Number 3 Notre Dame Fighting Irish defeated number 1 Duke by a score of 13-8 on Monday afternoon at Lincoln Financial Field to secure the 2023 NCAA national title for men's lacrosse.
Oh, so it was played at the Link?
Yes.
Oh, that's how Dorenzo hurt his foot then. He was there at a lacrosse match.
After winning the national championship, Notre Dame's Pat Cavanaugh said this was his motivation to play through a hamstring industry.
My first question is, how did you play with that leg?
Yeah, honestly, I've been waiting too long for this game. 60 minutes for the rest of my life. I got a lot of support from my family, my coaches, my medical staff. And Liam Anthem actually sent me a text message last night about Mike Day, who's a soldier who took about 20 bullet shots and a grenade and still got up and killed two of his enemies. And Liam said, if this guy can do this, you could play through a little hamstring injury. So I said that was all the motivation I needed. Thank you, Liam, for sending me that text. It's Memorial Day. Couldn't be prouder to get this done on Memorial Day. Thank you to our troops. This is just unbelievable. It's so surreal.
Hell yeah, buddy. Well said. I mean, let's first of all, Pat Cavanaugh playing for Notre Dame. Sounds like a good Irish boy. Doing good work, getting a national championship in Philadelphia. Big Catholic community there. Obviously on hand for the Irish. A lot of Notre Dame fans in the city. And yeah, you know what? If your hammy's bothering you a little bit, if a guy could take 3 shots to the face from Al-Qaeda or whatever he said there and still kill a bunch of terrorists, you can play through a hamstring.
Yeah.
So we're going to pass that along to the NBA. For like guys like Joel Embiid. I need a night off, my knee's sore. I need to take a maintenance day. Get out of here.
Speaking of sports, the Biden administration welcomed the LSU women's basketball team to the White House. I don't know if you saw this.
Did not.
Jill Biden got up to speak, and she would like to, she complimented how far women's sports have come, which is ironic. But let me play Jill Biden first.
Every basket was pure joy. And I kept thinking about how far women's sports have come. I grew up before Title IX, and young women in my day just didn't have the same opportunities to play sports.
Not today,
I
they don't
see a lot
again.
of head shaking.
There you go.
Yeah, think about Jill referencing Title IX as a part of this administration, talking about what women weren't able to do, and now what they're permitting to have happen in women's sports. Allow men to come in and play women's sports. I take some stones out of Dr. Jill.
It does.
I got to tell you.
Richard Notaro on Twitter, Nick, says, I disagree with making Memorial and Veterans Day a month-long event. I think those days would lose their impact. What should be done is teaching the importance of those days in school.
I don't disagree
making it
with that. No,
mandatory.
it's a good rationale.
Yeah.
Although my argument is if we can do a Pride Month, we can do like a military month.
But I think what he's saying is that if it's a month long, it loses its importance. But I
Well,
could
then
also argue
that's up to us to make it important every day for those 30 days.
I could also argue that having it to Dawn's point, on a Monday for a long weekend makes it lose its importance too,
Yeah.
because you just look at it as a 3-day holiday.
Yeah, which most people do.
It is annoying. Like, oh, the unofficial start of, you know what I mean? And then starting this week, June 1st, all we're going to hear all month long is Pride Month, which not for nothing. Not for nothing.
Not for
Say.
nothing.
But come on already. Just one day for those who've made such a sacrifice and their families.
Yep.
A Queens town hall hosted by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez descended into chaos over the weekend.
Shocking, much like her precincts.
With some of her constituents calling her a piece of S.
Ooh.
The S word. It's the American Citizens Before Migrants group. So these are her own people that are coming after her.
Help
which
us
is also
first.
which is also we always call this stuff like when woke attacks itself.
Yep.
So this is woke going after woke because she's not doing enough to help the migrants. This is just a little compilation of people screaming at her, which I think is hysterical.
So we're taking lines. So we're having people
American citizens before migrants. You claim that you voted for.
And I will share something. We have enormous amounts of.
And you did not ask the question. It is not your turn. How about you wait your turn?
Nuclear war with Russia. We're sending F-16. If we send F-16s, please never say on the verge of nuclear war. It's not okay.
Activity because it has been creating a lot of harm to poor and indigenous people. And we've also been able to fix.
I'm going to repeat the number again. It's 718-662-5970 if you would like to call the Congressman's office.
Stop funding this one.
If you would like to meet the Congresswoman, please form a line.
Wow. There you go.
Well, you get what
the flag. You're not patriot.
you get what you vote for. You get what you vote for.
Yep.
Nice work. I don't know anybody that really actually approves of AOC.
It's true.
She's like Biden. Like, who actually roots for this individual? The most unredeeming quality. It's just awful.
They keep getting reelected, though, don't they?
Them damn squad members. All right, 9:54 as we find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show, just 6 minutes out.
Yeah, so we have Kyle Salmon of Broad and Liberty talking about Senator Fetterman and his latest embarrassing behavior by adopting the latest, legal conspiracy theories. So we'll talk to Kyle Salmon of Broad and Liberty about what he's finding, the reaction. That's at 10:30. John McNesby at 11 a.m., no stranger to us here at WPHT.
Wow.
But McNesby joining us. So we'll talk about everything as far as police morale following the mayoral primary here in Philadelphia. We'll talk about all those ATVs flooding the streets, talk about Kensington and the shortages and recruitment efforts, all of that. At the top right at 10, we'll talk about what is being said and a real war of words going on with Kevin McCarthy making a threat as to who he's going to hold in contempt. That one's going on. And some a word of more COVID research being retracted 2 years, 3 years later. So we'll get into all of it, all the local news coming up.
All right, Dawn's coming up at 10 o'clock, and we wrap it up with Who Won Twitter today?
Who won Twitter?
Who won Twitter, sponsored today by the Philadelphia 100. I'm giving it to Sharon K. She says, Nick, don't let them get you down. There's nothing wrong with your tweet. People suck.
Thank you, Sharon.
Twitter today, sponsored by Philadelphia 100, calling all entrepreneurs. Distinguish your company as one of the fastest growing in the region by applying for the 2023 Philadelphia 100 Award. Take the first step in joining this elite group of business. Apply today at philly100.org. That's philly100.org.
All right, that'll do it for us here on a Tuesday. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next. We're back at it tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock for a Wednesday, which will include the great Tony Bruno. Until